time I close my eyes, every time I close my eyes, every time I close my eyes.
Yes, guys, welcome back. How is everyone? I hope everyone's doing well. This is the match reaction video to Liverpool and Derby County from last night, guys. So, yeah, big up to everyone. Thank you for joining me once again. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for coming in. We've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, Liverpool drawing 0-0 with Derby at home. League One derby, should we not say? League One derby. Yeah, we had to go to penalties. We're going to talk about the team that played, the starting 11. What everyone's surprised of the starting 11. Did you think it was the right team? We're going to go into player ratings. We're going to talk about the academy. Oh dear. YouTube services. Good evening. Subscribers available to purchase quick. Phil, get in touch. I've worked with your friend Steve. Big up YouTube services. I don't need to buy. I don't really need to buy any subscribers. Thank you very much. I want real people. I do appreciate it though, but thank you. I don't really need to actually buy anyone. That's a madness. But thank you very much. Big up, Sir Oswald. How you doing? Back at Leveson. Tom in the house. How you doing, Tom? Are you doing well, my man? Hope you're doing well. Big up, Ricky. Lakers catching her live. Big up to yourself. Big up 6 times. Hope you're all good, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Harry's, everyone. So, yeah, guys, got a bit to talk about. Obviously, we're going to do player ratings later. We're going to talk about the 11 that started the game. And I think we need to talk about our academy a bit. Big up, Ram. Ram, if you want to come in, my man, I will send you the link. You're more than welcome. You know that. And I want to talk about our academy a bit because our academy's dead. I'm telling you, our academy is shocking. Big up, Pablo, as well. How you doing, my friend? All good, Tom, fella. Now the season's finished here, so I can chill for 6 months, watch footy and watch the vids. Big up, Tom. Yeah, all right, man. I'll send the link. What I'll do, I'll put it in the what I will do, I'll put it in the TFT WhatsApp group. I'll put it in there. And then anyone can come in. More people are welcome, the better. We could have been worse last night. Kate could have played. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Big up, Daz. Big up, Jamie. How you doing? I'm doing good. Big up, man like Shawnee. How you doing, man? Big up, Jamie. Hope you're well, mate. I'm doing well. Doing well, my friend. I'm doing well. I just want to capture this a minute. Hang on, guys. Hang on. There you go. I just needed to take a picture of something. Big up to everyone. Sorry, guys. Big up Indian Scouser. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. So, guys, don't forget, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you've not done that already. Let's get going, guys. Let's get going. Right, let me put that in here. Right, if it hurries up and works. Right, sorry, guys. I'm right with everyone. I do apologise. 1 second. And in the TFT. So, Ram, I'll put it in the TFT, okay? The WhatsApp group. I think you're in there, so I'll put it in there as well. So everyone's welcome to come in, have their say on this game. But big up to everyone in the chat. Hope you're all doing well. Frondorf looks like Fabinho's dad. The man looks old, and he's only, what, 17? Fabinho got saved from a roasting by Kelleher against a third league team. Gargoyle, how you doing? Who's in England squad for the World Cup? Because I didn't watch the announcement. Oh, I'll get that back up in a minute. Jamie, I'm doing predictions on Twitter for the World Cup. Look out for that. Then I'll look out for that, my friend. I will look out for that. But yeah, guys, big up to everyone here. I hope you're all doing well. One more game until the World Cup. And he feels that team last night, Copper's taking the piss. So, guys, obviously the team last night, it weren't, look, was what it was, you know what I mean? It was a weird, I think, I can understand the lineup but I said yesterday, this is my thing on it with that lineup yesterday. I was, with only Southampton to go and then the World Cup, I did expect the team maybe to be a little stronger in certain areas. I did expect the team maybe a lot stronger because he's not resting anyone up. You know, we only got one game left and then it's a World Cup and, you know, we don't play again till Boxing Day. So it's not like we needed to rest players up. But I feel like it weren't just Liverpool the case. I looked across a lot of the big Premier League teams and it did surprise me that so many youngsters played and so many reserve players played for their teams last night. When theory, why? You know, drawing 0-0 with Derby, a League One team. Yeah, they're not really a League One team, I suppose, because they're only down in League One because of administration. They're probably a mid-table championship side, or a lower table championship side. But, you know, they're a League One team. You know what I mean? They were facing us at Anfield, and we put in that kind of a performance. It was not great, was it? It wasn't great. And, you know, our youngsters as well. I want to big up our youngsters, but I just can't. I literally can't. Our best youngsters are the ones that really didn't come through our academy. You know what I mean? Like Ben Doak, he's 16, yeah? We bought him from somewhere else. He went in our academy from like 8 years old, working his way up. No, we bought him in, you know, at 15. You know, and he's a 16-year-old boy. And he looks like a good prospect, but is that from us? Oh, no. Big up Skip Ram in there as well. Big up Ram, how you doing, my man? Welcome back to the channel.
Yeah, man, it's been a bit of time since I last come on here, but happy to be back. Happy to be back.
How you been, man? How you been?
No, not bad, not bad. Obviously, a shaky start to the season, but let's hope for better. Let's hope for better. That's all I got to say.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, look, the season definitely has been... Well, I got you here, and let's just talk about the start of the season. Get your views on it. What do you think the problem's been with Liverpool? I know the easy one is saying transfers and stuff like that, midfielders, but you know it's still the same team that almost won everything a few months before. And what's happening right now? I can't put my finger on it really.
I think is multiple things. I think also the fact that the way we play hasn't been up to the standard. Some of the players that played at a certain level are not repeating those levels. Trent Alexander-Arnold is, for one, a big one. Virgil van Dijk is another big one. But I think most importantly is the fact that the personnel sort of the style of play that we play is not sustainable, and we haven't adapted. if we can't adapt, then we have to go and find people that can play that role. But we clearly didn't do that. So the only way we can make it sustainable is by adapting, and we didn't do that either. So put those two together, you've got yourself a very, very difficult situation for everybody, and that's what's showing this season. We haven't played well. We got battered by Napoli at the start of our Champions League game. Granted, we still ended up going through second, which led us to being up against the current champions Real Madrid. But if you don't prepare well, prepare to fail.
Oh yeah,
That's the old saying, and we didn't do that. So we just have
Yeah.
to hopefully just grind out this next game against Southampton, and then once the World Cup is over, hopefully we can get a good run of form, and then sort of save the season that we kind of messed up in our own way.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, it is weird with Liverpool at the moment because, as you say, there's performances this season. You look at the City game at home, great performance. The two Ajax games, the Rangers game is what it is, I suppose, and then Napoli. I think we're still the only team that's beaten Napoli in Europe, and you look at these results and you think, how do we lose to Forest and Leeds? So, some of it I think can be a mentality thing with Liverpool Football Club at the moment and the players and sort of getting themselves up for the big games. And I think they're thinking they can coast the teams like a Leeds and a Forest. And when they can't, they haven't got it in them now to adjust themselves mid-match. And I think that's that's a problem for us at this moment. Where with Liverpool in the Klopp years, I've seen us adjust mid-match and take the game and come back. And now I look at it and think, I don't think we're capable of that at the moment. I just don't think we're capable of that. So if it starts badly for us, I don't think we can turn it around. Where a year or two ago, if it was starting badly, we can turn it around mid-match. But now we have to come in with that mentality that we're playing Man City every week, basically. That's the way we need to play.
I think what gives me a little bit of hope that we can salvage the season is that we've been through arguably worse or similar situations, and we still somehow found it in us to get through it and salvage what we got. Granted, we did get a lot of help from a lot of people, i.e. Chelsea and Arsenal and Tottenham, but you could say the same for this season. It can happen. We could get lucky, but it's another season where we'll be wasting our best players' opportunity to build on their legacy in the game, like Alisson Becker, like Andrew Robertson, like Mohamed Salah.
Sam.
And I still stand by it. I don't want Barella anywhere near my club. If you don't like that opinion, then tough shit.
Sam, if you want to come on, mate, let me know and I'll send you the link.
But I'll happily take Sandro Tonali though. I'll take him though.
Yeah, Tonali's a player, ain't he? Yeah,
I'm going to love Tonali now. I really have. He is a baller.
He's a player. He definitely is a player. So, what do you reckon on all the? So obviously FSG as well. Liverpool don't seem to be at the news at the moment. So you got FSG as well setting up or looking for investment, whatever way they want to put it. They basically want money in the football club now. Obviously, I did a video yesterday on this and showed a clip on my channel about. So there's American guys that do a YouTube channel, All American Sport and all that, and they were talking about basically that. So John W. Henry and FSG want to start a Vegas NBA franchise. That's basically what they want to do. So the way to start that up, because they want to buy the Penguins or they have bought the Penguins or something like that. But this NBA franchise and LeBron James is in on with them on it. He wants to be part of it. So the way to do this is to get capital really quickly. The only capital they got is they can invest in and make a lot of money on this Liverpool Football Club. And so they apparently either put Liverpool up for sale completely or are willing to sell 50% of their shares to an investor. Now, when we heard this news, obviously we all got a bit excited, especially me on the channel. I was playing the Shane McMahon music and everything like that, you know. And yeah, we was all happy. Then the next day, I was reading other things up, like that American bloke who's good friends with FSG. I think he owns one of the teams.
Boston Celtics.
Yeah, and he's basically, you might as well keep FSG to be fair, because he's worse. He is far worse. And then there's news today. Is it the LA Clippers owner?
Steve Burrell, I think
who
that's
is
his name.
Extremely rich.
Yeah.
I think he's top 10 in the world, actually. And he's actually one of them who does invest heavily in whatever he owns.
Yeah.
So Liverpool fans are like, if we go get American, he's the one we want, or Jeffrey Bezos. They're the two. But obviously a lot, especially everyone in the live chat on there, they all want state money, man. They all want state money. They want to be part of the club now. Where do you stand on it, Ram?
Look, I'm not gonna lie. State money would be very nice. It would be very, very nice. The thing is, even if we had state money, we wouldn't need to put in as much money compared to Manchester City or other clubs like that, or Newcastle. I just want us to have the situation where if we need to get someone in, we have the capacity to do it without worrying about money or whatever. The main problem is that FSG have a certain way of running their club. Granted, they did put a lot of money at the start, but then they didn't want to put any more money after we started winning. So it's just a case of, instead of that, I want there to be a reserve where if we need money and we need to get it, let's go to the bank, get the money out, and then put it towards a player or put it towards someone else. Whilst also improving our foundation and our facilities at Liverpool Football Club. Because I feel as though we have lagged behind in terms of our overall structure for a very, very long time. People don't know this, but there was a big reason why we had such a great youth academy, and we're going to get on the youth academy later. And if anyone's read any autobiographies by Carragher or Gerrard or Fowler, there was one man. It was Steve Highway. Yep. Steve Highway had an eye for talent. And a lot of the players that we brought in that were amazing talents were under his wing. Once he left, which is around about the late 90s, early 2000s, we haven't had a player of that ilk since, until we had Trent Alexander-Arnold. There's a reason why we haven't built upon our youth academy, and we haven't done anything more to bridge the gap between youth football and first team football, and stuff like that. I feel as though we need to put more money into. With a Dubai owner, I believe that we can do that whilst also bringing transfers to help us challenge Manchester City and pip them to the Premier League. So that's why I want Dubai owners, but I just want owners who have the capacity and are able to invest and give their money. That's the most important thing to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't actually I don't really care who takes over as long as they invest in the football club. Like, I suppose American owners, as you say, I don't think they're going to look at youth systems and think that's a priority.
No,
and that's the thing, because
that's why I would have Dubai owners.
It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of money to get the right youth setups and the scouting networks you have to do for the youth team. And it's not just that. You've got to try and get kids, especially if you're looking down in London. You know, if you're looking down in London, you're asking kids to move 200 miles up the country to change their whole way, and and they still might not make it. So you're asking them to move their whole livelihood, their family, and everything. So clubs need to then take care of these kids. So that is why when American owners come, they're not too fussed about the youth setup. It's all about the first team and what they can do there, and how much money they can make at the end of the day. They are after profit. I mean, it's just, that's the way it is. But with state-owned, or whatever you want to call it, You know, they're going to put their money in the whole infrastructure. Look at Newcastle now; they're talking about that now. It's not just players they want, first team players. They're looking at sorting the youth team out, the training ground. I think Alan Shearer was saying their training ground ain't changed since he was there, so they're looking at sorting that out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of development now. The one thing I will say, if anyone comes in, takes our club, and is willing to invest, the infrastructure in our club is pretty much there already. So we got the new training ground. Anfield's built up. I don't know if you can actually make it any bigger than what it is right now, because I believe you can't build on the Cop. I think that's the only stand you can't build on.
Unless you want to go upwards.
Yeah, and it just makes it a bit.
It's a bit like a lot of the Spanish stadiums.
Yeah, and I don't know if they want to quite do it like that. So, I mean, it'd be a 62,000 stadium. You got a new training ground. The infrastructure is there to take place. So, you get an owner who's willing to invest. He's just really in the team, and and sorted out the youth system as well. So that's why a lot of people want state-owned money, like Dubai, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. They want they want that money, man. They want that gold, and look, I can't blame people. I can't blame people.
I think
I'm going to be the biggest hypocrite in the world because I go at Pac-Man's in the chat. Pac-Man's our local Man City fan, but he's a good guy, and he's a good guy. He has a laugh with us, and I've been going at them. You know, I know I just got to sit here and go, yeah, fuck it, I'm an hypocrite. Come at me. You know what I mean?
I think it's just that it's guaranteed with state owners. It's guaranteed that we're going to invest.
Oh yeah,
internally. You know,
totally.
I think with American owners, I think they know exactly. They think when we buy the club, the asset that it's already at, you just need to keep buying players, and you'll be sorted. And I feel like I want to prep for the future as well, in my opinion. And I feel like state owners would care a lot more in terms of infrastructure rather than, because it's a competition between each owners. Like if you think about it, it'll be a competition between Newcastle and it'll be a competition between Man City about who has the best overall club and infrastructure. So that's why I'd say I would love to have state owners in as Liverpool owners.
Definitely, I agree, man. I do agree. Like Pac-Man, you can't blame him, but I just love Pac-Man. He's a good guy. Yeah, I mean, like you say, you look at Man City, and when they came in, Sheikh Mansour came into Man City. You look what he's done around the area as well, Manchester. You know, the build-up he put around the area, the training grounds, the youth setup, what he's built up around there and all that. And, these luxury, it's almost luxury for the youth team now. You know, you can get the best out of them. They can scout any youth player they want around the country, around the world, give them the best dietitians, the best physios, the best coaching, and they develop them beautifully. I mean, look at Palmer. You have Foden, you have Palmer, there's a defender they got as well that are coming through. Yeah, and they just play like they're first teamers when you see them for Man City.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want that now. Yeah, I want to get the first team, but we need the youngsters. Because let's talk about our academy. Look, our best academy players all came from other academies. I mean, you look at Ben Doak right now. He's 16, but he's basically came from Celtic.
Yeah.
Harvey Elliott came from Fulham. Sterling. You can even go back to Raheem Sterling. He was at, where was he? He was at QPR, weren't he?
QPR. John Joe Shelby.
Yeah.
Was at Charlton.
I mean, Trent is really the only one that's come through. And yeah, let's talk about it. So obviously the team yesterday, what did you think on the lineup when you first saw it? Did you think, we've only got Southampton in the World Cup, could we have gone a bit stronger? Or did you expect that sort of mixed team that he played, especially how young the forward line was?
I did not expect that at all. I thought it would be a couple of youth players, but I did not expect them to pull a fully fledged attacking youth academy attack. Like 4 of them, or even you could say the front 3, were all from the 21 and under.
Yeah.
You could count Fabio Carvalho as a first team player, but Bobby Clark, Freundorf, and Leighton Stewart, they're all academy players. I did not expect Klopp to do that. I thought that was a bit mad. Thought it might be a bit too much, but I wasn't worried. I was like genuinely excited to see what these lot got. What have you got to show? Some of them looked okay. Some of them looked better than others. But one player caught my eye. Like, I think everyone knows who that player is. But does it bode well for the academy, seeing as though they're quite good, all right, or they're not? They're all right. You had to take a look. You had to take a look at the academy because, given this, the club that we are, given the players that we brought through history, it's a bit underwhelming. It's a bit underwhelming. Look, I know people will say we've sold a lot of academy players for good money. We have.
The best ones probably go, ain't we?
Yeah, we've had Nico go for good money. Ryan Brewster gone for good money. But it's all about players that can play for Liverpool Football Club. It's not about making money for me. For me, it's just like the academies for those that Liverpool believe that can play for the first team, and not maybe by Chetic to an extent, maybe, but other than that, I don't really see anybody else. I think Calvin Ramsey is he's not from our academy, but I still think he's good enough to play for us.
Oh yeah, we'll get to talk about him in a bit. Yeah,
and Ben Doak is probably another one because that little cameo of that last 20 minutes was more than what any other youth player did in the whole game.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what we expect. We don't expect you to get goals or assist or do mad plays. Just have a go at the defenders and show something about yourself. And I feel as though it was a bit timid, and I was a bit disappointed from our academy. But
yeah. I think Klopp looks at that and thinks none of these are ever going to start for Liverpool Football Club. They're just like so. This is the 11 that started that game. So Carvalho, Stewart, and Freundorf. How do you say his name? Freundorf, is it?
Freundorf.
Yeah. Who looks about 37. It's just I don't know what's happened to him. Stefan Bakatic, Clark. I mean Ox playing Carvalho. Ramsey, Sean, Kelleher, Sean. But I've got see Bobby Clark. I mean, that's Lee Clark's son, ain't it? He's I just don't know. I don't see anyone there playing apart from Carvalho and Ramsey that has a future at Liverpool Football Club.
I would probably argue by Chetic as well.
Do you reckon?
The only good thing that strikes me about Chetic is I know he tried to do some long balls that didn't work, but the vision that he has just to look up and see a player and attempt a long ball is still something. It's something to go about. Sometimes it worked, most of the time it didn't work. But having that vision is what you need in a young player. The passing will come through time. So I believe he can still have a future here.
My only worry is, that who was it we sent on loan to Blackburn?
Leighton Clarkson.
Yeah.
Or Tyler Morton.
Tyler Morton, yeah.
Yeah.
So we sent a certain Harvey Elliott on loan on Blackburn the previous season, and to play grown-up football because he was too good for the under-23s. They needed to play grown-up football. Came back. You look at him now. I'm just looking at Tyler Morton and thinking Klopp prefers him, and that's why he went on loan. He went on loan to Blackburn because of that. He wants him to play grown-up football because I think Klopp prefers him. Plus, if we do get money in and we get investment, then they're not going. He's never going to get in the team, in my opinion, and that's a thing as well. So I'm just not. I'm not completely sure on them. I mean, Stewart's definitely never going to play for Liverpool. I love the kid, but Freundorf is never going to play for Liverpool. Ramsey, look, we're going to talk about Ramsey in a minute. Caoimhin Kelleher, who's just an amazing number 2. It's just a shame of Kelleher that he's got the best goalkeeper in the world in front of him. That's all it is to Kelleher. I think Klopp's got to go to him, right, you play FA Cup and League Cup. As long as we're in them trophies, you just play. Alisson takes care of Premier League, Champions League.
I feel bad. I really do feel. If Alisson was 4 years older,
Yeah.
then he would definitely have a future here.
Yeah.
Given the fact that Alisson's in his peak years now,
Yeah.
and
And
a goalkeeper's peak is long.
And he's the best as well. And that's the thing.
And he's not getting worse with age. He's
No,
actually getting better with age.
Exactly.
So he probably, hopefully, I mean, for all of us, we hope that he can last for hopefully another 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And if that's the case, Kelleher will be right in the middle of his peak by then, because he's about 22, 23.
Yeah, he's only a youngster.
Yeah, so he'll be right in the peak of his time at Liverpool, and he wouldn't have a lot of experience. So I do feel sorry for him, but the best thing for his career is to move on.
Yeah, I think as well.
I don't like to say it because he's a quality keeper. He's a quality person as well. But if it's up to him, he should get a move because he deserves one.
He can play
good enough to.
Yeah, he can play first team football.
He's good enough to play first team football for a decent team.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He's a decent player. He's a decent goalkeeper. And the thing is, he's what teams want these days. He's good with his feet as well.
Yeah.
So he can play out with the ball. So that's what a lot of top coaches are looking at now. They like sweeper keepers. You know, they build their teams. Arteta built his Arsenal team basically by buying Ramsdale in goal.
Yeah.
Who can play out from the back. You know, that's the way teams are built. City, Guardiola made sure he got the best
Edison
ball-playing goalkeeper he could find on the market. Liverpool the same with Alisson. You know, all the top teams. Neuer's done it with Bayern for years in Germany, you know.
He's the guy that started it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, when you look at it, that's what goalkeepers, that's what top teams want now. And you know, Kelleher's got that, and he is a decent goalkeeper on the line as well, where he's a great talent. And hopefully Klopp just gives him the FA Cup and League Cup, as long as we're in them tournaments. And you look at the League Cup as well. So, like Chelsea gone out, you know, Tottenham went out. I think Charlton are the only London club left in it as well, ain't they?
Is West Ham in it as well? I don't know. I have to have a look.
I can't remember. I swear I saw a tweet yesterday saying that Charlton are the only London club left in, unless West Ham won. Can't remember.
I don't think. No, West Ham lost on pens.
Yeah, so Charlton are the only London team in it.
Yeah,
that's mad.
They
and then you got Chelsea are out, Arsenal are out, Spurs. Jesus Christ, Spurs never learn, do they? They're no matter who's their manager, that Spursy thing's real, man. I'm telling you, that Spursy, like football, like European history is a real thing. When the top Champions League clubs go at it, being Spurs is a real thing as well. It's just mad. So Liverpool got a big chance here of actually going quite far in this tournament. It wouldn't surprise if City and Liverpool kept apart. It wouldn't surprise me if that's the final. Newcastle in with a shout as well. The thing with Newcastle, it all depends how well they're doing in the league. Because they're only playing once a week at the moment, it all depends how Eddie Howe feels about it and what the draw is like for them. But they're the three, I would say. City, and I think Man United and Villa, ain't it? Is that tonight?
Man United and Villa is tonight. Yeah.
And then the draw straight after, ain't it? So,
yeah.
It's that's going to be interesting. Liverpool could see themselves going far in that tournament. They really could. And trophies are trophies, man. I'm not going to be one of these people who picks trophies. You know, you win a trophy, it goes to your thing, and it makes you more successful. I don't care what it is.
It's a good look. It's a good look for your legacy.
Picking up trophies season after season. Look, City won. Is it 4 in a row on the League Cup? It was their trophy. Trophies. You know, tell Pep it ain't an important trophy. I actually prefer the League Cup to the FA Cup.
Well, I don't know about that.
I think it's more fun in a way.
I think FA Cup is harder.
Games. Yeah, FA Cup's harder, but the league, because they take it a little bit more seriously. But with the League Cup, I do think you get quite a lot of fun games in it.
Yeah,
I do think you get a lot of fun games in the league.
it's
Cup.
less jeopardy, but it's still nice to win it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so FA Cup, there's a lot more seriousness, there's a lot more pressure on. But League Cup, there's less pressure, but it's still a nice trophy to win. It
Oh,
is.
yeah, definitely. Any trophy, man.
Mhm.
Silverware. I don't care. I'm counting the Community Shield. I don't give a damn. That's a trophy for me.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Ramsey at right back.
Hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what. This might not be as stupid as it might sound, but he might already be giving Trent problems.
I don't
And
think that's stupid.
and the way I look at it, the reason is right. Have you seen his heat map? His heat map is all. There's no
Red.
cutting inside. It's all down the wide areas. It's all overlapping, and he's in great defensive areas as well. He can play. Apparently, he can play centre back as well.
I
And
don't want. I don't. I
no,
wouldn't want him to play centre
what
back.
I mean by it, that tells you how good he is defensively. That he
Yeah,
can possibly play there. And I don't know about you, Ram, but he's a lot bigger than I thought.
he's a lot faster than I thought as well.
Yeah, he's technical. He's big. He looks quite imposing. And he's
Yeah.
very technical on the ball as well, ain't he? Yeah, his
He-
crossing's not Trent like. I mean, no, I
yeah.
mean that's hard to. Yeah, but
He's very comfortable on the ball.
mm,
You don't find a lot of young players that are comfortable on the ball, especially given you're a right back and you're meant to be a creator at the same time. Normally they tend to shrivel under pressure.
mm,
But no, he took the ball on. He plays some pretty decent balls into the box. Some were a little bit chaotic, but we don't want to talk about that.
no,
One thing I really do like though is he's two-footed.
mm-hmm,
That is something that I really do like. Not many players are two-footed, and having a player that can play back on his left and right offers different options in terms of crossing the ball or playing or creating something. It's just going to be beneficial. It will. And yeah, I'm even when he did have his defensive situations, he dealt with it pretty comfortably.
mm-hmm.
So all in all, a very good performance, a very, very promising player. There's a reason why Liverpool wanted to get him the way they did. And it's a shame he got injured because I would have loved to see more of him. But he's not injured now, so we can see what he's about.
Well, his injury, I think, as well. I think Klopp was saying was more growing pains as well. Do you
Hmm.
remember when Stevie first had that when he broke into the team, and
Yeah.
we didn't see him again for months because he had then growing pains in his back, didn't he? And the
Hmm.
next time you saw him, he's 6 foot, and it's like Jesus. It's
Yeah.
like, and like, if you look at Ramsey, he looks a lot bigger than when we first signed him. He
Hmm.
really does. So, what I like, as you say, he's good with both feet. He's got that little Cruyff turn he does on his left foot, and he looks comfortable with it.
The little shimmies as well.
Yeah, and he's quite a solid looking player as well. You know, he's not small or weak looking, is he? He looks
Mm.
like he can mix it. And I know a lot of people in the chat are saying maybe this is where you can move Trent into midfield. I'd actually say it's the other way around. If there's any
Oh,
if there's anyone I think who could do it, I think looking at him briefly, what I've seen of him already, I think Ramsey would be more suited to the midfield role than
ooh,
Trent would.
that's a bit of a curveball, you know.
I
But I
think,
can hear it. I can
yeah,
hear it. I think on the ball, he's a lot more better in
mm,
terms of running with the ball than he is with Trent.
yes,
Um, I mean, he's not shy away from the ball. He's very skillful with the ball as well.
mm.
It's a shout.
He just looks a
Um,
bit more solid. He looks a bit more imposing.
a
Because
lot
he's
more athletic, arguably as
yeah, and
well.
his defensive capabilities are better than Trent. So that's not idea. You know,
Mm,
it is. And look, I've always said Trent in midfield. The problem is Trent is never used to being players being behind him and beside him. He's always
mm,
had the game in front of him. And when you've had the game in front of you that whole time, to then go into a midfield position where everyone's around you and you've got to be 360 on the turn all the time,
mhm.
I just don't think that's his game. And now I look at Ramsey in the brief moments I've seen him, I'm thinking, yeah, I can see you in midfield, man, because the way he brings the ball into his feet as well, he seems better in that than Trent. Yeah, Trent is just tremendous. Look, passing wise and creativity wise, Trent's as good as anything.
Yeah.
We're not going. You know, Trent is a creator and a passer. You know, there's arguably anyone. There's only a couple probably in the Premier League better in it. Let's face it. That's
Mhm.
probably Maddison and De Bruyne, probably. You
Yeah.
know, and but with Ramsey, I just see he's got a nice touch. He likes ball to feet. He doesn't mind his back to the opposition. You know, and I look at it and think, and no, and he's good under the pressure, under the press as well. You see him already last couple of games, and the minutes he's played when he gets pressed, he doesn't mind. He can look after the ball. And when I look at that, I think, you know what? If anyone's going to play midfield out of these two, I think it's actually Ramsey, and keep Trent where he is. So that could be a possibility for the future. But at this moment in time, Klopp be liking what he's seen from Ramsey, I reckon, Ram.
I think he is. I think he has as well. Like that performance last night was good. Was better than anybody's. Arguably, Kelleher was probably better. I think we have got a prospect on our hands. He looks very, very good, and I'm hoping. I'm wanting to, and if a player you want to see is playing well and you want to see more of it, it shows how talented he is and how what he can be is exciting for us for the future. So I'm all for it. I want to give him a lot more opportunities. I want to see what he's all about. That's how I see it.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's got. After we come back from the World Cup, he's obviously going to go. I think we're going to warm weather training in Dubai when the World Cup's open, aren't we? Ain't we? Don't know if that's a coincidence or not. When the club going out, you know, being told, but there you go. But you know, they're going to Dubai, warm weather training. I think it'll do Ramsey good, get some more fitness into his legs. And when the Premier League starts, I'd like to see him, you know, pushing Trent at right back, because Trent needs it. Trent needs competition. There's no doubt about it. Trent's had it his own way since he took Klein out of the team. And no one's really come in for him. The odd game here, Gomez has come in, Milner's come in, but at the end of the day, they're never keeping that position. No. And look at Robbo. Look what he did for Robbo when Simicast come in. You know, you got to perform. You can't, because you know you've got quality behind you, and that's what I want. That's what this team needs. The whole squad needs it. I never hear. I don't get why there's complaints sometimes about this sort of thing. You want quality to come. So Simicast not as good as Robbo. I think I've been saying that for a while. I know a lot of people hold Simicast quite highly, but every time I watch him, I just think he's good. He's a very good left back. He's just not Robbo, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if Robbo ain't playing well, Simicast coming in, the quality drop ain't massive. And that's what we need. So Robbo had to perform.
Yeah.
Now with Trent, and I bet when Trent was watching that yesterday, watching Ramsey play, I thought, I bet he's thinking, yeah, that's a player there. I've got a, you know, they brought him in as a right back, you know, and, you know, Trent don't pick up his form, you know, I wouldn't mind Ramsey coming in. I give him a few Premier League games. You know, give Ramsey Southampton. Trent's going to the World Cup.
Maybe, but I probably wouldn't do that.
It depends if we're winning this game. Look, if we should be beating Southampton at home, all right? And if we're winning this game, we've got 5 subs. After an hour, take Trent off, give Ramsey half hour. See what he does in a Premier League game. Yeah, you've got to see what these guys are like, man.
Yeah, because if you don't play them, we will never know. And if they have the capabilities of cutting the crop, then give them the opportunity that they rightly need.
Exactly, I agree.
I'm happy to see what he's all about against Southampton. Obviously, not starting. I don't think I would want him to start. I would rather him come on at a good situation where we're leading the game and it's pretty much comfortable. Something like a 2-0 or 3-0, and we're like, let's see the game out, make some couple of good chances with it down his side, something like that. But I just want to see more of him, man. He looks a very good player.
Same. I agree, man. I agree. So, Freuendorf never going to play for Liverpool, is he? Properly.
He just looks a bit uncomfortable on the ball. Like he looks very, very. I think his touch is a bit meh. The way he strikes the ball is a bit meh as well. He looked all right in the youth academy, but I wasn't too sure about him.
The problem is when you're watching people in the youth academy, they're going up against other youth academy type players that might not be that good, so they can stand out a bit. It's when you put them in these situations where you see what the player really is. You know, he's playing against a League One Derby. Yeah, are Derby really a League One team? But it's administration basically put them there in the drop point. So
Yeah.
they're probably a lower end Championship side. And unfortunately, at this level that he played last night against a League One side, he didn't cut it. It's not horrible. It's just the truth. He didn't cut it. And Jurgen Klopp's going to be looking at him thinking, he's never really going to be in my plans like going forward. I don't know what we do with him. Clark, the same. Stewart. I mean, what are we doing with our youth team diet-wise? Because you look at City's youth team, yeah? They're all like big, imposing players. I've seen some of the Arsenal kids coming through as well. They're big. Why are our ones all meek and like look very weak on the ball and small? What is?
I don't know. I really don't know.
What is going on in the academy? Have they just stopped the steroids? I mean, just I mean, have they just put an end to it? Because I don't know. Because you look at the as you said, the youth academy from even like 5 years ago. Now there were better players then, more imposing, bigger players. Like Pat-Man says, they've been given pot noodles and penguins. I'll do that. That'd do me. I'm on that diet. I'm on that. Stuart was the worst. Stuart was too young, man.
But Stuart, it's just like he had zero. I don't think he had a lot of touches in that game.
And no, he had that one chance as well, didn't he? And it just. Let's talk about someone who ain't actually a youth player, but he's young. Carvalho. Now, I was excited when we bought Carvalho because I watched him play for Fulham. I can tell he's a talent. I've seen him play in under 21s for Portugal and stuff like that. A lot of talk about him, a lot of prospects about him, and everyone can see that. It's not really gone for him at Liverpool yet. Now, when he played a whole season for Fulham in the Championship, and he was extremely well, played every week. He was the man behind Mitrovic. You know, he's playing big boy football. Yes, the Premier League is a different cut, but if he was still playing for Fulham now in the Premier League, he'd be probably playing every week. So, what is going wrong with Carvalho at the moment? Do you think the pressure of Liverpool Football Club is very hard for him at this moment in time, being so young? Is it that he doesn't really have a position yet in the formation that suits him? What do you think it is with Carvalho right now?
I'm not too sure. I think it's the case that he's just come into the Premier League, the top tier of English football, and he's still sort of finding his way through it. If you get what I mean. I think he's had his moments, like decent moments. Like best example probably be the Newcastle game where he scored that last minute winner. I don't reckon he's shit. I still think there's a player in there.
Yeah,
but I think it's just. I think he has the capabilities, but he just doesn't know how to go about in the Premier League. I still think he's still finding his feet, as any young player should. But people are saying he's getting played out of position. I feel as though the kind of player he is, he can play left wing. Like I said, told Jamie at the start of the transfer window when I first saw him play, he gave me a lot of Pablo Aimar vibes. Like very, very quick on the ball, a deceptively quick player as well. I think he could have done a job at the wing, but maybe his best position is a 10, not a left winger. But I still expect a left winger to still do something. And yesterday, he had a couple of moments, but again, you're out of the whole front four, front three, you're meant to be that guy who takes us forward. Granted, he's not playing with any good level players next to him or players at his level, but again, you can still create a little something for yourself if you're that talented, and we know how talented you are. So, it was a bit of an underwhelming performance, and I still will be patient with him because he's still only 20 years old or just turned 20 or something like that. So I would still see what he's all about, but he just needs to find his feet.
Do you need, like everyone's saying in the chat as well, that he might need to develop a bit more physically as well? Because he is very slim looking. Someone said he needs worm tablets. No, he is very slim looking, ain't he? He's not got very he hasn't got broad shoulders or anything. He's very he looks very. So I always say, because there's always this talk about him and Harvey Elliott, yeah. And I've always been Harvey Elliott. I love Harvey Elliott, yeah. And when I watch them both on the pitch, Harvey Elliott looks more mature, a lot older. But they're I think Elliott's actually younger than Carvalho.
Yeah, Elliott is younger than Carvalho.
But he looks more mature and older on the pitch. And look, it's not like Elliott's played a lot of Liverpool games. He played a few in the beginning of that last season, and he got injured. Then he went on loan at Blackburn.
He looked really good in the last season.
And then he went on loan at Blackburn, and then he started this season really well for me. He's been probably, apart from Thiago, he's probably been our best midfielder this season.
But Jamie, is it easy to be our best midfielder?
Oh, it is. Everyone's shit. You got Fabinho. I mean, we're going to talk about Fabinho. I just don't know what's happened to him. Hendo's been here for 12 years now, playing week in, week out.
And we both, I think we both agree, we don't mind him staying, but not to start football games.
No, they just don't need to start anymore. But Elliott's playing too many games, and that's a problem. And that also, Klopp must, he's playing him because he hasn't got anyone else at the moment.
That's what I was going to say. This is a big problem with the squad that we have, especially with midfield as well. Our best players are more or less past their peak, and the players behind them who we expect to do stuff are still learning the game. They're still 19, 20. Yeah. We do not have anyone within the middle age bracket of 24, 25, either going into their peak or in their peak. We don't have that, and that is a big problem because we're
teenagers.
Yeah, and we literally have these unrealistic expectations of these players, and I think other fans as well have these unrealistic expectations. Like, I hear a lot of people criticizing Harvey Elliott for not doing enough, and I'm like,
that's a lot.
He's still only 19.
Yeah, but he does do a lot.
He's not. We're not saying he's going to be like Messi. We're not going to say he's going to be like. You should have these conversations when they're either turning 21 or 21, 22. Yeah. Like what we're having these conversations about Curtis Jones, because right now he's at that age where he should be performing because he's at that, because he needs to show a little bit of something. He needs to show improvement because he's 21, 22 years old, like how Stevie did, like how Jamie Carragher did.
Yeah.
That's what we got to say. And I feel like we have these unrealistic expectations of Carvalho and Elliott because we have a massive age discrepancy between us midfielders. That's how I see it.
Yep, I agree. I mean, I'm looking at Harvey Elliott right now. So Harvey Elliott has played 13 Premier League games this season. He played 6 the season before and 2 the season before that. So he's played 19. He's played 22 Premier League games. And he's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he's played 6 Champions League games since 2019-20 to now. So, over the few years, that's not actually that much at football, to be fair. That's a good, that's what you want to aim for. But the problem is, as you're saying, how much he's playing this season. We're relying on him because of the issues. Look, when Klopp had his first choice midfield a few years back, Hendo was 26, 27. Fabinho was 25, 26. Wijnaldum 25, 26. Keita, fuck knows how old he is. And these players, we had them players at that age, like you're saying there. And that's why we were so good at that time, because the way Klopp wants to play, he wants a midfield that is the engine of everything, that controls games of football. They don't have to be world-class talents like a Man City midfield. For Klopp's system.
And look, I don't like doing this comparison, but I'm still going to do this comparison. Phil Foden, look, I don't know if Elliott's going to be at the same level of Foden, because I said this when Foden came around. He's going to be the guy that holds England up. He's going to be the guy that leads England in terms of this generation of technical players in English football. I said he's going to be the one leading everybody else. But if we compare what Foden's progression, when he was around about 19, 20, he only played around about 25 games in all comps,
Yeah.
and 13 of them were in the Premier League, or 18, 19.
Yeah,
So
Pep really looked after him.
Pep looked after him well, and guess who he could cover? He had Riyad Mahrez, he
Yeah.
had Leroy Sane, he had Bernardo Silva.
It's just ridiculous.
Elliot has an aging Jordan Henderson, a Thiago who can't stay fit, pensioner James Milner, and Naby Keita that can't stay fit,
This is so true.
and Oxlade-Chamberlain that can't stay fit as well.
That is so true.
And compare it to what Foden had, where Bernardo Silva, more or less every game, is up and ready. Riyad Mahrez, he doesn't have great fitness, but still could play play more games than Keita, Ox, or Thiago. And Leroy Sane, who was more or less fit most of the time when he was at City. So compare it to both situations. He's really been thrown in the deep end. And I'm surprised that quite a lot of people are expecting a lot from him, given his age.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
But like yesterday, I saw him come on the pitch yesterday, right? And for me, he changed the game. Like when he came on yesterday, he gave us an attacking threat from midfield. And I'm watching it and thinking, hang on, he's only a year or two older than some of these youngsters that are in our team. But he's far more developed.
Yeah.
Like literally far more developed. He's only just turned 19, you know. He was only 18. And some of these youth players are 17, 18. And Elliot when Elliot came on, you're looking at him thinking, well, Elliot looks like a first teamer. He just looks far more developed than these other guys. And as I keep saying, Harvey weren't from our youth system. He was from Fulham's. Now, this is the issue. There is an issue of our youth system. And then Ben Doak came on yesterday. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Like,
breath of fresh air.
Ben Doak. Is it Doak or Doak? Because commentators were saying it two different ways yesterday, weren't
they were. But I think it's Doak.
Yeah, because it's that Scottish thing going on the O and But he's got a dodgy bar on it, by the way. He needs to sort that out. But he came on yesterday, though. 16-year-old boy came on yesterday, weren't scared, and literally gave it a go. I thought he looked quick. Thought he looked good with his feet. He just tried to attack. He only had one instinct to do. And I think Klopp will look at that and think, right, there's something there I can maybe
turn into.
He's only 16, you know. He's got 3 years before he can really touch a Premier League pitch.
Yeah.
You know, that's develop him. Let's keep him in the youth system. But my worry is that the youth system at the moment, everyone's in charges over there, I don't think it's good enough. Now, it's something we need to look into. We need to get better coaching for our youth system. I don't know if we need to get Stevie back, put him back in charge of it. I don't know what Stevie wants to do. Because Stevie would be great for them kids. And with Stevie, the way he is at the moment, the way his management's going, you know, I think he's going to find it hard to get a new job, especially in the Premier League. And it's up to him if he wants to go down in levels, because he's probably going to get a League One or a Championship team or go back to Scotland. And if he doesn't want to do that, does he just want to come home? Does he just want to come home and Klopp puts him in charge of the kids and he works under Jurgen Klopp?
Yeah.
And Jurgen Klopp starts to take Gerrard as like, right, you know, I'm here for another 3 years, so let's get Stevie in. He can be working as a coach.
I don't want that.
And then bring Stevie in as a coach on the first team, never as manager, but as a coach into the first team squad.
Yeah.
You know, something like that, if Stevie wants to do it, because I just think we need something in our academy, because they say Highway, you know, look at the players we produced under him. You know, your Fowlers.
And Highway was a baller.
Yeah.
People don't.
Oh, he was a great footballer back in the day. Absolutely amazing footballer. But we produced so much talent under him. Your McManamans, your Owens, your Fowlers. You know, so much talent. So much talent came through. And, Carragher, you know. I mean, David Thompson, people might laugh, but he was a great youth prospect. You know,
Mhm.
David Thompson was a great youth prospect. You know, we had so many good players in that youth system. And and now I feel like with our academy, I think we let go or sold our best academy players off in the last couple of years. And we're
Mhm.
left with what we got now. And I think what they're looking at is that Ben Doak's got a future. And then there's the Polish kid.
Musialowski.
Well, he's got. I think he might be the most hyped youth Liverpool player of all time, and I don't think Klopp rates him.
I don't even know what he's doing.
I don't, he was meant to go on loan, wasn't he? He
Yeah.
was meant to go on loan, but he apparently Klopp. So the rumor is that Klopp promised his dad that he'd get minutes this season, and that's why he didn't go on loan.
Mm.
Now, I don't know what Klopp was. I don't know what he said that for. I don't think Klopp rates him. He's so rated by a lot of people who watch the youth team. I used to watch when I had time, I always used to try and watch youth games on the FC TV and stuff like that. And
Mm.
when I did and he was playing, he was the standout footballer.
Yeah, he was.
And you look at him and think, oh, bloody hell. You know, as he grows, this kid's going to be all right, you know. He's got a future in first team football. If it's not at Liverpool somewhere, he has got a bright future.
Yeah.
And now he's I don't know what it is. Has he been in the youth setup for too long?
Has he been in? I think he's been injured quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then he's just been staying in the youth academy. I don't know what's gone on with him. I don't know what his progress is all about, but I'm confused. I'm just confused about what he's doing. I don't know what he's.
He's got to make a move in his career, though, ain't he?
Yeah.
He's got to make a move in his career because he can't stagnate in that under 23s because, you know, you're under 23s, you're playing in the Northern League or something like that, and you're playing Grimsby Town on a Wednesday night. Or so. It's not. He needs to go. If he's never going to be in the Liverpool fold under Jurgen Klopp, and Jurgen Klopp just don't fancy him for whatever it is, then for his own benefit, he needs to leave the football club. Because he has got a future as a professional footballer. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt. No doubt.
And he needs to move on because I think he's just got injuries and he's stagnating and he just needs to move on. There's no doubt about it. But, you know, our academy, I don't know what we're going to do about it. As you say, it might be when we get taken over, new money comes in and they try and freshen up that academy as well because it does need it. We're Liverpool Football Club. We've always had decent academies and no, I'm looking at academies. I'm looking at Arsenal's academy. I've seen some of the kids coming out of Arsenal's academy. Now look at Smith Rowe and Saka. You know what I mean? Where's our Smith Rowe and Saka? You know,
that was meant to be, what's it called? It was meant to be, what's his name? It was meant to be, Elliot and Carvalho, but they're not even part of Liverpool.
Man, they're not like that's just it's all cheating, ain't it?
Yeah, it is basically cheating.
Dortmund turning Lasky into £100 million talent in 2 years.
That is true. 100%.
I could see that's probably where he needs to go. You know, somewhere like that. Like
go Bundesliga, yeah,
Leverkusen or something like that, and just
let Xabi Alonso do what he has to do with him, man.
Yeah, I really wanted to see Cannoneer, and said he was injured. I think he would have played if he weren't injured.
He would have played.
Yeah. And the other one, there is one we forgot about who's injured at the moment as well. Young winger, Taka.
Was it?
What's the kid's name? It's gone out
not
my head.
Balagizi, he's on loan.
No, not him, although he's decent. He's injured at the moment. He was meant to be part of the team this season as well. Had a few appearances last season.
Kay Gordon, yeah.
That's the one. Now, I know Liverpool really are invested in Kay Gordon, and they think Kay's going to be a good player.
He's not even from. He's not Liverpool.
He's not from our academy either. Exactly.
He's from Derby.
Yeah. So this just tells you everything, you know. Kay Gordon could play first team football, I think.
Yeah.
He could play first team football. And you look at Kay Gordon, Harvey Elliott, Carvalho, you know, these sort of players that are young never came from our academy, and that's why they can all be first team footballers.
Yeah.
Again, it's a blight on our academy at this moment in time, which I hate saying because I grew up owing from the academy, from nowhere, being like and winning Ballon d'Or. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Robbie Fowler being the greatest goal scorer I've ever seen in Liverpool. You know, just a tremendous, could score with his eyes closed. Yeah, tremendous goal scorer. Matt Manaman, David Thompson was a decent youth player. We had all these great players coming through, and you look at it and you're like, oh, Carragher. It's just, and I look at it now and think we ain't producing one. We're buying one that is like a 15-year-old academy player that's already been made by, and produced by another team, and we're just giving them the finishing touches basically, and then giving them a bigger platform. That is what's a little bit of a worry for me going forward. But as you say, hopefully, DIC take over, and if DIC take over, I'm going on every rival's YouTube channel and just and rivals. I don't like on the
rivals should be bricking it.
Rivals
if that happens.
Look, what rivals are worried if Liverpool get taken over by someone like a DIC or something like that, because I've said this before. You look at where Man City got took over. Now, Man City they're starting from scratch with Man City, building up. Same with Newcastle, they're starting from scratch, building up. Liverpool are already there. It's already, that's worrying. A Liverpool that have unlimited money, and you're competing on the same market as Madrid, PSG's, and Man City. And
it's not a lot of investment as well needed as well.
No, exactly. And the problem is when Liverpool are then competing financially with an open checkbook against clubs like PSG and Real Madrid and Man City, Liverpool's history.
We can balance the books.
Yeah, they gotta come to Liverpool. Bellingham. Get your Bellingham 2023 shirts ready. That's what I'm saying. I think Bellingham's coming no matter what. Anyway, by the way, I think Bellingham's coming no matter what.
Percentage sure if DIC take over. Yeah. And expect more signings on top of that as well. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think when they get taken over, Liverpool will be like, even if they gave you 300 million, for 2 transfer windows. Jurgen, with Klopp, right? It was good hearing Klopp last night saying he's staying no matter what, because he's committed to the club. Because I was a little worried if a state ownership came in, Klopp would leave, because how open he's been about it in press conferences and stuff like that. Because let's face it, he's going to look like a massive hypocrite, ain't he?
Yeah.
And he is the face of the football club. So he's going to probably have to take it on the chin. But then Klopp with an open transfer book, we don't know what Klopp will be like. He's never had it in his career. No matter. Even at Dortmund, he had strict, transfer dealings because he couldn't compete with Bayern Munich.
Yeah, and all the players that he had to sell, had to recuperate into other players.
Yeah.
The only player that he couldn't really replicate was Lewandowski. But that was more or less a board signing. He didn't want. Apparently, he didn't want Ciro Immobile. He wanted. I can't remember who he wanted. It was someone else. I can't remember.
He hated Immobile, apparently.
He did not like Immobile, and he did not want him. But they still ended up getting him. So
yeah, he had Aubameyang as well, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Left as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Klopp buying Lewandowski from absolutely nowhere might go underrated. I think that might be one of the most underrated bits of transfers ever.
Yeah,
because buying Lewandowski from a Polish side and becoming arguably the greatest striker of his generation that's a heck of a find, That's like when Liverpool found Sami Hyypiä at Wolverhampton too, and got him for like $2.5 million. I think, because I believe correctly, he was just about to go to Oldham Athletic, and Liverpool
or Andrew Robertson,
and Andrew Robinson for basically nothing, because Kevin Stewart went the other way.
Yeah, because it was more or less around about 5 million, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was we paid 8.5. They paid about 3.5 or something like that. 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like Klopp with money might actually be like, right, I could actually might be able to go for the targets I've always wanted without having to worry about losing a Mo or losing a Trent or losing someone like that or an Alisson. Because let's face it, there ain't a lot of much value left in that club.
And also we can give big money deals to these players that deserve these big money deals.
Yeah. Contracts won't last. The Salah thing wouldn't been going on for 12 months, would it?
It wouldn't. It would be like, if they talk about any contract, it'd just be like, Alisson signed a new contract, Virgil signed a new contract, like Robertson signed a new contract, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It would just come out on the news, wouldn't it? You wouldn't even know about it. It would just be like, oh yeah.
We wouldn't celebrate it as a transfer anymore. It would just be like, yeah, Cool.
That's
They're
that's, that's what we need, man. That is what we need.
here.
Klopp didn't buy Lewandowski. The sporting director did. He wasn't involved in the transfer, says we know.
No, because Klopp wanted. Klopp had an idea of a player that he wanted. The board came back with a group of players, and he saw Lewandowski. He was like, "Well, let's get him."
Yeah, I think look, the way most teams do transfers is that there is a person in charge and a team in charge, but then they go to the manager at the end of the day and just go, right, these are the list of players, right, and then they watch tapes of them, and then that manager will come back to whoever it is and go, right, this is my, if you're asking me, I want A, B, or C, and then it's up to them, the transfer committee, to do that sort of business. Or they might feel like A's not. I don't think A's good enough for us, but B, he could do something. A bit like we've had it ourselves the other season when Werner and Jota.
Yeah,
Klopp wanted Timo Werner really badly, but if like the transfer committee were like, here's Jota. We have been scouting him for a couple of years.
the board were like, "It's too much money."
Yeah, and like for the money scenario, we feel we're going to get more out of Jota. And in the end, I mean, they were right.
Yeah, they were 100% right.
I mean, they were correct. Although I do think Timo Werner in the Jurgen Klopp team would have been all right.
Because we create the chances, but I feel like it will still bite us because you still need someone who has more or less 4 touches in a game, but still ends up scoring a goal.
Yeah.
And by the way, with the Lewandowski thing, Lewandowski wasn't bought to play as a lone striker. He was paid to play with Lucas Barrios at the time.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why Klopp wanted him.
Lucas Barrios. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's a throwback footballer.
Yeah, that Dortmund team. I think everyone forgets the job Klopp did in that Dortmund team because they were dead.
They were under administration. They were under administration at the time, and Bayern Munich bailed them out.
Yeah, Bayern Munich. Fucking hell! Can you imagine that now? Bayern Munich would not bail them out now, would they?
No. Mate, is that asking? Is like United bailing us out during Gillette?
It's
not going to happen.
Do you think it's guaranteed we'll get an open checkbook with new owners? Depends on the owners. Literally depends on the owners. I said this in my video the other day. Like, 4.5 billion is a lot of money to put down. It's a lot of money to put down. My only problem is if it's an American buyer, because everyone's got to remember Chelsea was sold for 2.5, I think it was, or 2.7 billion. Was it Newcastle 300 million?
I remember Chelsea, they had to put in, so they basically have to pay around about 4.7 billion because of the transfers. They have to pay a certain amount of transfers and wages during that time. So overall it's about 4.7 or something like that.
And then I think Newcastle's like 300 million. I think City was 500 million at the time, if I remember right. I can't quite remember. So with them transfers, with them, buying clubs for that kind of money, they could afford to put money down straight away for transfer dealings because it's. But when it's 4.6 billion or 4.5 billion, what FSG want, that's a lot of money to put down and then just give straight away for investment. So, yeah, it has to be the right owners. My only worry with American owners is that they take a loan out on the club to buy the club. And that's a problem. We don't want that. That's what the Glazers did to United.
That's what Hicks and Gillette did. They took
and almost
multiple
loans. Administration. And they couldn't afford to pay the loans back. So the bank were like, well, we'll take the football club then. Simple as that. And we don't want that to happen. So with United, the way they get away with their debt is because United have been so successful for 20 years.
And their revenue is
sky high. It doesn't really affect the debt. Where with Liverpool, our revenue has only just started the last couple of years. And the problem is, if they take out loans, we don't want to be 100 million in debt with a new owner.
Yeah.
Because they ain't going to invest.
And we would have to be going to sell our best players as well.
Yeah, to invest. It'd be worse than FSG. You might as well keep FSG. Yeah. If that was the case. I'd rather keep FSG. It's better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
That's why I'd rather have a Dubai consortium or a Kuwaiti consortium, because I know there
just
is
buy the
zero
club, no
risk.
matter. Yeah,
There is zero risk. Like, but it's just we have to have someone who has the will to invest in the club, and they won't have to make any dodgy dealings, any
Yeah.
sort of loans or anything, because it's almost like PTSD. We don't want another Hicks and Gillette all over again.
that we
You
don't.
could argue Hicks and Gillette was the reason why we failed, because we sold our best players, like Xabi Alonso, for example.
Yeah, that was mad. Letting Alonso go. It was just too early in his Liverpool career. He had so much to give. That was just a mad bit of business.
Because we didn't, we could. Is because we didn't want to offer him a new contract.
No. Well, they couldn't afford it, could they? What he wanted, and that was the problem.
And Rafa wouldn't want to say it to his face, but he did. Rafa didn't show him as much love, which I'll still criticize Rafa for. That's one of the main things that he just didn't get right. His management of players is
not
not
great.
that level. Not like Klopp.
It's not great. Look, I loved Rafa as our manager. I can't lie. I did love him as our manager, but my God, I used to frustrate me when we scored like a winner or a last minute goal or anything like that, and the most Rafa would do to celebrate was look at his watch. I was like, Rafa, man, you are cold, man.
Yeah.
How do you stay that cold? Get up and jump around, man. I think the most emotional he actually got is when he couldn't watch the penalty shootout in the Champions League final, or he sat down.
Or no, it's when he sat down. Just
he let the fan see behind him. He said, didn't he? So he sat down.
Yeah.
Not that he was bricking it. That's why he sat down. But that was the most. I love Rafa. That team Rafa had. It was just a shame we couldn't. No, you look at that team Rafa had, especially in the midfield when you had Mascherano, Gerrard, Alonso, Momo Sissoko, and Torres up front, Gerrard behind him, Albert Riera on the wing, who was a decent winger. Maxi Rodriguez, great little player.
I used to love Maxi.
Great little player. We had under Rafa. We actually had a very, very good first 11. We just didn't have a squad because when Torres was injured, Voronin came in.
Yeah.
That was the issue with Rafa, unfortunately. But otherwise, he's top man as always. But look, let's do these player ratings for yesterday's game.
Yeah.
I haven't really spoke about it much because there weren't a lot to talk about. That's the problem. We played okay little spells here and there. Some of the first teamers I thought were quite disappointing yesterday. I thought Tsimikas was really bad yesterday.
Yeah, I thought Tsimikas could have done. I mean, that shot he should have.
It was bad. I mean, Ox as well. I mean, look, to Ox's credit, man's rusty, so I'll give him a bit. I'll give him a slide. But yeah, Carvalho. But look, it took other players coming on to sort the team out a little bit. But I thought we were very poor, especially at home.
Mediocre is the right word of saying it. We were very mediocre.
It was just awful, weren't it? You're playing against Derby County at home in the League Cup.
Yeah.
On a Wednesday night. You've got to be doing better. Right, let's do the player ratings, guys. Let's do player ratings. Let's get everyone's opinion on these. Let me just get it all up. It shouldn't take too long because it was shit. But I think there's going to be some high ratings for a certain goalkeeper, mind you.
Certain players are getting high ratings.
Yeah. Right, let's share the screen here. Right, guys, in the chat, you know what to do. When we say your name, when we say a name of a player, get the ratings out for them. So we're going to start with the goalkeeper.
10.
Kelleher, 10 straight away.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone's putting 10 in the chat. So, guys, in the chat, what are you giving Kelleher? Is everyone giving Irish sex symbol with 10? 10 for Kelleher. The penalties are like, I mean, man, there is a thing now. I can't remember. Was it you guys with Grizz last night talking about it, bringing Kelleher on for penalties?
No. Because Alisson's very good at penalties as well.
I heard someone say last night, I can't remember what channel it was last night. I think it actually might have been the Coppish boys, actually. I think it was the Cobbish boys.
They
And they were
better
talking
not said
about-
that.
I think it was the Cobbish boys. I think they were saying, do we actually bring Kelleher on for penalties?
No
Might have been
way.
that. I can't quite remember.
No way.
Yeah, I think when they were doing their player ratings, I noticed that. I think it might have been the Cobbish boys. I noticed someone just for the penalty shooter. But the problem with that is you're bringing in a goalkeeper cold, and I don't think you should do that. I mean, look at Kepa. Kepa was awful when he came off. Let's go 10. Kelleher. Right, Ramsey, guys. What are we giving Ramsey in the chat? I think Ram is frozen. Ram, I'll take you out and you can come back in. Come back in, Ram. I'm just going to take you out because you completely froze. What are we saying for Ramsey, guys? What are we saying for Ramsey? 7, 8. What are we saying for Ramsey? Come on, guys, get a number in the chat for me. What are we saying for Ramsey? 7, 7, 8. No, 7s. I was going to go 7 as well for Ramsey. I thought we had a solid game. 8 for Ramsey. Let's bring Ram back in.
I definitely, the Coppish boys were like, let's cut Ram off. He's starting to talk too much now. I know for a fact they did something. But I'm just telling the truth, man. I think Alisson is just as good as penalty stopper as Kelleher is, in my opinion. But we move along from that. We move.
Yeah. Right, we're on Ramsey. What are we giving Ramsey? A lot of 7 and 8s in the chat right now for Ramsey.
I'd say 8. 8. I think he's been very good. So I'll go 8.
Yeah, he was diamond. Joe Gomez. Oh, I love Gomez, but that back
6.
pass.
No, 5.
Yeah,
5.
That back pass. I'll just.
It's those hospital balls that he keeps doing, and I'm getting sick and tired of him doing it.
What has happened to the man? Literally, what has
Jamie,
happened to him?
It's a simple case of injuries can truly ruin a player.
I think they have as well.
They have. I think we have to face the facts. Injuries just ruined him. And he's no longer going to be that same guy that we saw in 2018-19 or 19-20.
Oh, it's such a shame, ain't it? Because
it is a shame.
In that season, alongside Virgil, he was
Colossus.
Different, he was different. He was, for me, that season alongside Virgil, he was England's best centre back.
Oh, he was 100%.
He's England's best centre back. Mm-hmm. And I thought, right, this kid's going to have a career now. Because he was only 23 at the time, wasn't
he? No, he was only 21.
21. See, look at that. For a defender, that's no age. And I was thinking, right, this kid's going to have a future, man. Him and Virgil for the next few years, that is our centre-back partnership because they complemented each other beautifully.
And I was dreaming when at the time, because we were linked with Matthijs de Ligt a lot. Him and de Ligt, that partnership is going to last for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
Sadly, injuries can ruin players.
De Ligt ain't been the player everyone thought he would have been either at the moment, haven't they?
Yeah, it's true.
I don't think the Juventus move suited him though.
It didn't. That made no sense for me.
It didn't make any at all. I think he should have just stayed at Ajax, to be fair.
Yeah.
So what are we giving Tsimikas? I thought he was terrible.
I give him a 5 as well.
Yeah, I thought he was terrible.
I think it's just another case of people saying that he should start ahead of Robertson. Give your head a little bit of a wobble.
Yeah.
There's levels to this game. Like Tsimikas is a great understudy. Great understudy. Comes in and does a job.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not starting ahead of Robertson. There's levels to this game.
No,
there is. Yeah.
There is. Well, I got this thing with Tsimikas though. So when Robbo is out injured and Tsimikas knows he's not coming back anytime soon, Tsimikas always looks amazing. As soon as Robbo's back in the squad and he's back from injury, Tsimikas' form disappears.
I know. Make it make sense.
I've noticed that so much. And I'm like, so...
It could be the case of, Robbo's gone. I need to step up now.
Yeah, and then Robbo's back and it's like, he's coming back in anyway, so it don't matter. It's a weird one with him because, as you say, Tsimikas ain't a bad footballer at all. He's a
not.
Good left back.
He's a very, very good left back. But I think
He's just not.
People need to
He's just
people-
not Robbo, is he? That's
Yeah,
it.
people need to remember how good Robertson can be, and
Mm.
people need to remember how much football Robertson's played, and it's not fair on him that he plays that much football.
The rest has done him good this season, I think.
Yeah,
I think the rest done him good this season because he's come back in and he looks like the old Robbo.
he looks
And
revitalized.
then the old Robbo, let's face it, we're all calling the old Robbo the best left back in the world. So,
Mhm.
you know, and at their absolute best, Robbo's a better footballer than Tsimikas. It's as simple as
Robbo's
that.
just better. I think he's better than most things. Probably standing crossing where he just has to whip it in.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think Tsimikas beats him in anything when they're both at their best.
Definitely agree, man. Definitely agree. Nat Phillips, the legend himself. Well, I thought he was better than Gomez, to be fair.
So I think it's just about better than Go. I think I'll give him a 6 as well.
Considering he hasn't played much first team football.
Yeah, I mean every ball that gets thrown into the box, he heads it out. Standard Nat Phillips.
Yeah,
I think he's just standard. It's okay. Yeah,
he's always going to be a legend.
Yeah.
Right, Stefan.
I would go for 7. Because good vision, decent performance, I'd say. I'd go for 7 for me.
Skinhead, Matt. Big up, Cav. Cav, I sent you the link if you want to quickly come in, mate. So, Cav, if you're not doing anything, I've sent you the link in your WhatsApp. So, if you want to come in, you're more than welcome. Yeah, sevens everywhere. I mean, it's exactly what a lot of the newspapers gave him as well. So,
yeah.
the Ox.
5. Same as Joe. Same as Tsimikas.
Yeah. I mean,
he's marked much more harshly because
Yeah.
he is our first team player. Like he's the experienced player, and he didn't play well. So you're going to get marked harshly. So I'm giving you a 5.
Yeah, and if you look at his average is 5.5 on everyone's rating. So look at Keller as a rating. Not what everyone loves him. Carvalho.
I would say he's the same as Ox.
Yeah.
Same as Ox. But there's a difference between Ox and there's a difference between Carvalho. So my rating of Ox is not going to be my rating of Carvalho is not going to be as harsh as Ox's.
Fair enough.
So I'll probably go for a 6 for Carvalho, but that don't mean he wasn't okay. He was meh. I expected more from him, but he's still okay. He was still meh. So
well, if you think like a 5 is what you get when you just enter the pitch anyway, and he was just a point above that sort of thing. So
no, I'd say when you come onto the picture, a 6.
Yeah,
and then you drop down
from there.
Yeah. So
yeah, that makes sense actually. Because Ox, definitely. Considering the Ox's experience, I know he just come back from injury, a long layoff, but considering his experience, I thought he would just pulled up a little bit better yesterday, especially he's playing against League One Derby.
Exactly, yeah.
And
absolutely.
it's not like they completely parked the bus either. Liverpool had room, we had space.
The only time they parked the bus is when we brought on our big players.
Yeah, when they went for penalties, basically.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah. The German who looks about 42 years of age.
For Freyendorf.
What are we saying?
5.
Yeah, he was.
I think all 3 of the youngsters are more or less 5. I'm going to be harsh.
I think you're right. Let's be fair. We've got to be fair to them, only because they were shit. Just say how it is.
They just weren't not good.
They just weren't good enough. Look, these 3 alone, Freyendorf, Clark, and Stewart, great kids. I hope they have a great future in the game of football. It's just not going to be at Liverpool Football Club.
Not Liverpool, no.
But I just hope they have a good career. I hope the best for them.
Absolutely.
Right, my man,
Darwin.
He didn't really do anything when he came on.
6. I think he just came on and came back off.
He scored a penalty, to be
Yeah,
fair.
he scored his pen, so I give him a 6.
Okay. I love Darwin Núñez. I spoke to you about Darwin Núñez. What do you think about Darwin Núñez? Oh, Ram's frozen.
Am I back now?
Yeah. What do you think of Darwin Núñez? Because I haven't spoken to you about him yet.
He's pure chaos.
He is, ain't it? He is.
He is pure chaos, whether it's good or bad. And it's kind of funny to watch. He does the hard things at a very good level, but does the simple things absolutely like pony, bruv. It's not good to watch. It isn't good to watch, but it's hilarious at the same time because that moment of brilliance can do something, but then the moment of madness can be absolutely diabolical.
He's look. There's not many players in our team that's exciting, is there?
No.
And look, he gets me on the edge of my seat. I can't lie. When I watch Darwin play, he does get me on the edge of my seat because I don't know what he's going to do.
I don't think he knows what he's going to do.
When I'm watching football, when I'm watching the Liverpool game, and I see Darwin's got the ball, I am like this. Go on, son. Go on, because I know he's going to do something. I mean, against Spurs, I think he had 3 opportunities in 2 minutes, the opening and start of the game. What I will say about Darwin, the man he only knows one thing, and that's attack.
Literally.
He literally like, all right, I'm going to get the ball, I'm going to run because I'm faster than everyone. I'm going to go past you, and I'm going to try and put it up onto my right foot, and I'm going to have a shot no matter where I am on the pitch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go for it, Darwin.
But he's one thing I hate. He's a bit selfish. He's
everyone says Salah's selfish. Salah is the most unselfish footballer in the world compared to Darwin.
Literally.
But then Darwin a few good assists, lately as well.
That's the moments of brilliance that I'm talking about. And then there's
where do you think he plays? Because he's played a few games on left wing for us at the moment of 3. He plays left wing for Uruguay, don't he? Because Suarez is through the middle. Where do you think? Like when everyone is fit and available, and Jota's back, and Diaz is back, and everyone's fit and available, where does he play? Do you think eventually he's got to be our number 9 going through the middle?
He has to. It has to be because he's got the bill for it. And he's got the capabilities of playing as a number 9. I need him to play as a number 9 for him to be starting football games.
Because I think Klopp said in his press conference that the other day against Spurs, I think he said Darwin is more dangerous off the left. Here comes Cav. Big up, Cav.
How you doing?
How you doing, mate? All right?
You all right?
Sorry I'm late, Jamie. I got caught up in all sorts. So.
No, you're all right, mate. Whenever you can be. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, we're just talking about utter chaos. Darwin Núñez. There you go. That's all we need to say. You know what I mean? I was just getting Ram's opinion of him. I spoke to Ram in a while about it. So I love him. Darwin reminds me of Titi Camara. Jesus. Wow. Darwin Núñez reminds me of the Uruguayan striker.
Darwin Núñez.
No, the older one. Oh, the full Man United player.
Oh, Forlan.
No, the full Man United player. The other one, just left.
Oh, Cavani.
Yeah, he reminds me of Cavani. I'm telling you, with the way he plays. The way he plays, he just reminds me of Cavani. I think in a few years' time, Darwin Núñez is going to be a great player.
I feel like he's like a reckless Batistuta.
Oh, do you remember Batistuta? Oh, yeah.
I think he's like a reckless Batistuta.
Reckless Batistuta. I'll take it. Ram, I'll take a reckless Batistuta. I don't care. I've been saying for a while that Liverpool need to be a bit more bastards. We need a bit more bastards in us because we are too nice, ain't we, as a team? We are. No, we need that. We need that dirt bag. I know Cav loves Darwin, so
the guys in the chat don't need to hear me go on about Darwin.
I'm all for Darwin playing. Right, Harvey Elliott. I thought when Harvey Elliott came on yesterday, he was immediately our best midfielder as soon as he hit the pitch. And like I said, he's only a year or two older than some of the kids that played, but he's so far more developed.
Yeah,
I gave him a 7 when he came on. He probably should have scored. Where Ox, the only good thing Ox did all game was that ball over the top to him. But Harvey, to his credit, made that run. He made the effort to get into the box. He probably should have scored. He didn't get enough on it. I think the goalkeeper almost threw his shoulder out doing the save as well, didn't he? So yeah, I'm
he
gonna give Harvey a solid 7. Ram.
I'll give him a. I wish I was 7.5, but I would give him a 7. Yeah.
Cav.
Yeah, 7.5. I think he was the game changer, to be honest. Like he just come on and just like got on the ball, started like making smart, intelligent passes, up the tempo a bit, started creating, got it moving. Kind of yesterday's performance kind of showed me that he's obviously a first teamer, but you always think if Liverpool had a better midfield, would he get into it, kind of thing. But what yesterday proved is he's definitely not a reserve player or an under 23s or 21 player. Do you know what I mean? Because when he stepped on the pitch, he looked a level above in both his like actual play and like how he carried himself. So it's shown his progression, really. It's shown how far he's come on. And yeah, he was like, even though Carvalho was in that side yesterday and people have been calling for Bajcetic to start in maybe like league games and stuff, I think it's shown the sort of level to it. And Harvey was a level above everybody, I thought, yesterday. So it was just a bit telling, because sometimes you see like Premier League games and Champions League games and he performs in them and you're just a bit like, yeah, okay, he's good. But then like you take another step down and put him at that level again and he shines. So it's a nice little contrast to see where he's at. But yeah, he was fabulous.
Yeah, I thought he was great. Yeah, Harvey Elliott, look, there's a lot of people on Twitter that don't really like Harvey Elliott. Look, everyone might know who this geezer is. There's a certain Liverpool fan on Twitter that, you know, he was very pro FSG out. Everyone might know who he is. He's got quite a following. I think something at Collihad or something like that is his Twitter handle. He hates Elliott. I don't get why. I don't get why. Look, it's not Elliott's fault that the midfield is not good enough and he has to play. But at least when he's playing, he's producing at the end of the day. And that's all we can ask for. That is all we can ask for. That, yeah, we know he probably shouldn't be playing as much. He's only playing these amount of games because we haven't really got the players available. But even if we had all the midfielders Klopp wanted in this midfield right now, or what everyone wanted in this midfield, Harvey Elliott would still be in the squad. There's no doubt about that, because Klopp does love him. So, I mean, I've never seen Klopp almost cry when a player gets injured before. And when Elliott went down with his injury, Klopp was almost in tears. So I think that tells everyone what he thinks of the young lad. This should be a fun one. Bobby Firmino. Elliot, Ram, I'll just take you out, mate, because your internet is gone again. Ram, come back in, my man, when you can. So Bobby Firmino yesterday, Kev. I thought my TV was on pause when he came on, because I don't know if I saw him move. I love Bobby a bit, so I really do. But I've never been more frustrated with a player that plays for Liverpool in all my life. So Bobby starts the season really well. Then he has a bad patch where he looks absolutely dead off his feet. Then he has a really good patch again. And he came on yesterday as the experienced player, and he looked like he couldn't move. Little weird, ain't it? Little weird.
I think he had a bit of a mixed game when he came on. Like in flashes, he did some nice things. Like he got the ball, he turned and tried to feed a couple of people through and link up. Like, and it looked good, but it was never really going to come off because he's playing with people that he's rarely played with before. And then he had some good movement to get a couple of chances. I can remember the one where he sort of got in front of the defender and headed it at the front post. Yeah. It was never going to go in, but I mean, it was a chance at goal, wasn't it? But he's just very inconsistent, and that's why, like, when I spoke to people during the period in which he was scoring the goals, they were like, he should be your main man then, and you know, he's not done, he's still the main guy. He's had like a purple patch, like, and I absolutely love him. Like, goes without saying, but he is so inconsistent, and like, not just in terms of like goals, assists, and things like that, just generally in terms of like his touch. like his link up play and his effectiveness in the game is just hit and miss. And I felt like in such a short amount of time he played yesterday, because he come on in 66th minute. That's what it says there. He just looked like
he didn't look like he wanted to come on.
Like lethargic, looked very lethargic.
Yeah.
I thought.
He looked like he didn't want to play. He was like, I don't want to come on in this game. That's the way he looked like when he came on. And maybe he's feeling a bit down. He just got left out of the World Cup squad as well.
Unfairly.
Yeah, I mean, Richarlison goes. I mean, and Bobby don't, and it's like it's a bit mad. I
think,
and Fabinho went to the World Cup.
Positions though, innit? He got in there based on being a few. You got Casemiro in there, but few options in the six, and they've also got options in attack. But I didn't think he looked like upset or anything like that. But he's probably just in a place now where he's been at Liverpool for so long. He probably knows what he's doing in the summer. He probably knows he's leaving. He probably knows he's coming towards the end of his career. Like the things that he used to do, he can't do quite as well anymore. And he's probably just like a bit, not fed up, but he's probably just reaching that stage where he's like
he's a bit jaded.
Yeah. And maybe he's frustrated with himself. He's not what he once was. And maybe that upsets him a little bit. I don't know. But he's so unreliable now. Like sometimes he plays and he contributes so well, and you're like, oh, here's the system again. And then other times he comes on and the balls can't even keep the ball, like it's bouncing off of him, and nothing really works. And then he's actually you might as well have 10 men on the pitch. That's kind of how bad it is at times. So it's a real shame, but he's a backup striker, isn't it? At the end of the day, so
yeah, exactly. So what are we going 5?
Yeah,
I'd say 5.
Flashes, a couple of flashes and moments saved him from being a really lower score, to be honest.
Right, let's go for it. Ben Doak.
8. No, sorry, I can't give him 8.
Ram went straight in there.
I was like straight in. I was like 8. No. Let's be sensible right here. I'll probably go 7 because he didn't play the whole. He only had a little cameo session. I saw what I needed to see. I think he was very, very promising and very direct. I'll probably give him a 7.
7.
I'd say 7.
Kev.
Just before giving a score, Gary's just reminded me of Firmino.
Oh, he stuffed the pen, didn't he? Yeah.
Jesus.
It wasn't good.
I've not watched it back, right? Because, what's the point? But at the time, I don't even know what happened. Did he just glitch or something?
Yeah.
He was like, what the hell? He was like, even I was like, what the hell happened? Why did you screw your penalty up?
It's like he went to run up to the ball, but it's like, when you want to, it's like he went run up to the ball, but he wanted to stop and then go again because he didn't run up, but he just carried on and he made contact with the ball, and it was just like, it was all a bit weird, wasn't it? It
was really weird, yeah.
It's like he was buffering.
Then he just had his hands out and he was looking around going, am I that shit?
Not even he could understand what happened.
Man. Good job we got through in the end anyway, because you can forget about it. Doak, I got, you know what, I watched Ram do his post-match yesterday, and I was chatting to him in the chat, and I was really excited having seen Doak, and I was like, yeah, he did really well, and he was running at people, he was great. And then I went back and watched the highlights and realized actually he weren't amazing. A couple of occasions he got by his man, but for every, I think he did 7 or 8 take-ons, and he probably lost the ball 5 times. But I think
it was exciting when it came.
It's the enthusiasm and the willingness to run at somebody and to try do a skill and to try beat your man. Because when you do that, space opens up and that's where chances are created. So that's the exciting part. But actually, the execution was a bit hit and miss, shall we say? So.
And I think when you look at some of the youngsters that were playing most of the game, when he come on at 16. He already looked better in some of them, and I think that just got a lot of people excited, and you can see a bright future of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give him a 7 for his performance that he came on for. I mean, he's 16 years old as well, you know, and you know, yeah, I thought it was just exciting, if anything, because let's face it, the game was shite. You know, it was a boring game to watch, and when he came on, it brought up the excitement levels a little bit for us, and for that reason alone, I'm going to give him a 7 as well. So
yeah, I'd go along with that. Yeah, he's definitely exciting. He's one to watch for sure. Like you say, he already looked like a level above all the other youngsters that were on the pitch, and he only played a few minutes, didn't he? So,
I mean, when I'm looking at this might be the worst match ratings I've gave for a while, actually.
Yeah,
that is
looks bad.
That's dead, ain't it?
Probably since Man United away.
Yeah, that is dead. Let's just take the top 2. Let's talk about. So, Cav, Ramsey.
Yes.
I was saying earlier, it might be too early to shout this, but I think he's actually proper competition for Trent already.
Well, I think he's a nailed-on starter for the FA Cup and Carabao Cup competitions. Definitely. In league games, if we're in form and we're playing well, and it's a situation whereby you can take Trent out and drop him in, and you don't feel like it will affect the team, then yeah. But the way the season's gone, I don't think you could have dropped him in the games that have gone so far, because the whole team isn't playing well, and I think that'd be unfair.
I agree.
I don't think you should expect him to come in and improve the team at this stage. I think you should just let him come in and just not notice he's there, because that would say a lot about a guy his age, if that makes sense. But he looks like he's played so much more than he actually has. Like, he looks so calm in that game, so assured of himself. Like, the composure on the ball was exceptional. And then, you know, physically, he looks like a big lad. You know, he's strong. His decision making is quite good. His ability to pass, his ability to shoot. We didn't see the shooting last night, but I've seen clips of him in other games this season. Sometimes you just see a player and you just see how they are on the ball and how they carry themselves in a game, and they just convince you straight the way that they're going to be a top player. And he does that for me. Like, it's not like he's going by 3 or 4 people and you're like, oh my God, this guy's exceptional. He's not the same as Doak in that respect, but he just looked, and I said it yesterday, he looks like a first teamer that was just dropped into that game to look after the younger lads. Like, and if you didn't know the player and you wasn't a Liverpool supporter and somebody told you that, I think it would be pretty believable. Like, that's how assured he seemed in the game. I can see what the hype's about now, to be honest. Only seeing him for yesterday's game and the few minutes he played last time, but he looks. I mean, I don't think at this moment in time, but certainly maybe next year or the year onwards. Yeah, if Trent doesn't book his ideas up, there might be a bit of a conversation to have there.
Yeah,
definitely.
I definitely think Klopp liked what he saw. So they have that conversation at the end of the game. Klopp looked proper happy with him. Definitely likes what he saw. And let's just finish on Queven Kelleher. So, look, me and Rams already spoke about it. It's a shame for him that he's got the best goalkeeper in the world in front of him.
Yeah.
And he's not going. Goalkeeping is so different to any position on the pitch. You know, you can take a centre back out for a few games and put another one in, see how they go for a while. With goalkeepers, you can't really do that, can you? And look, Kelleher, if we're in the League Cup and FA Cup for quite a while, for me, he plays all them. You don't need Allison in the FA Cup. Kelleher, very good. He can do them roles. So I feel for him for a bit of that. That's the only way he's going to play. But yeah, he never lets us down, does he? He's a tremendous number 2.
Yeah, we'll be lucky to keep him beyond the summer, I think, because I think he is. I think he's at that level where he could go into definitely a Championship side and maybe a Premier League club. Definitely, he's like the real modern day goalkeeper, isn't he? Like, can do it all, and he's good with his feet and he's calm when the ball is at his feet, and then he's got the added bonus that he seems to be quite good at stopping penalties. I still think he looks a little bit lightweight, and I'm not sure if I'm maybe just being a bit too critical there, but I just look at the structure of him and I'm a bit like, maybe it feels like he needs to put a bit more muscle on. But
yeah. It's a bit like David De Gea when he came to Man United, wasn't it?
That's a good comparison. Yeah, it looks like he just needs to fill out a little bit because, in fairness, although he did well in the Cups last season, like he's only played 18 times for Liverpool, I think, and he's not really been put under that pressure where he's playing week in, week out, and like he's got to come for crosses, from corners and be dominant in the box and things like that. Them questions, they have been asked of him, but not to the extent that you would get if you were a goalkeeper in the Premier League. So there's still not question marks, but there's still things that he probably needs to go out and just show, because I think he's capable. It's just a case of doing it, I think. Like I say, we're lucky to have him. He seems like a good lad as well. Looks like he's got a good personality. But I do think we're going to struggle to keep him this summer because he's been number 2 for a short while, and I'm not sure if the cups are going to be enough for him next season. So it's a tough one. You of course want to have all the best. Keep all the players you have, especially if they're performing like he does. But it's going to be difficult to try and convince him to stay, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless he chooses to stay and just learn off Alisson for a bit longer, because
I mean
the problem is right. He's turning 24 this season.
Yeah,
he's getting to that age where he needs to start playing some games, and even when Alisson does end up retiring, Alisson just turned 30 this season, so maybe he'll start to decline. Maybe at 35, 34, 35. Even then, it could be a possibility where he could still last for another 2 or 3 more seasons. He'll be around about 31, 32. So he'll be in the middle of his peak, or middle to end of his peak. So it won't be beneficial for his career to stay and be Alisson's understudy, because when Alisson drops off, he will be at his near more or less middle to end of his peak. So the best for him is to leave.
Yeah, I think what Liverpool are looking at, I really think that Liverpool think that he's the next in line when Alisson finally starts digressing and Kelleher just comes in. But as you say, if anything, Alisson's getting better. So, it's I feel for him because he has got the best keeper in the world. And look, Kelleher's development will help, training alongside Alisson. There's no doubt about that. But it's like Foden with Man City. Foden never went on loan because, as Pep said, the players he trains with are better. He's going to get better experience than going anywhere on loan. And he was right in that case. And with Kelleher, he's coming to an age, you say, 24 this season. He's apparently, Lakers are saying that Leicester City really want him. Leicester need a goalkeeper.
Give us big money.
Yeah, he would probably suit Leicester. But
Leicester ain't got big money.
But the problem is, I think we should ask for quite a bit of money for Kelleher.
If it was a Premier League team, I'm asking big money. I don't want 20 mil. I want circa 30. Yeah. If it's a Premier League team,
it's awkward, isn't it? Because like you say, if Alisson maybe only had like a couple of years, you'd be like, yeah, you could maybe loan him out or convince him just to be a cut keeper for a while. Yeah, but the trouble is Ali could be here for so long that he's not going to wait that long, I don't think. And like people are saying, put a buyback clause into whatever deal if we were to sell him, but like what are the chances that he stays at that club for long enough? Do you know what I mean? If he moves on again in the period that we still have Ali, well, that buyback clause is no longer there.
Redundant. Yeah.
So I think the reality is, if he goes this summer, maybe even next summer, the chances of him coming back, are pretty slim unless you sign him in an ordinary way. But there's worse problems to have, I guess, isn't there?
We're talking about 2 good goalkeepers. I mean, Deschamps says Kelleher will always be a second goalkeeper. I'm sure when Alisson drops, Liverpool will look to sign another number 1. It's like when PSG had Neves and they went for Donnarumma. They should have kept with Neves because he's a better goalkeeper, but that's another day. Donnarumma's dog.
Another conversation.
Oh, Donnarumma's dog. I don't care what anyone says. He's so overrated. It's unreal. But yeah, no, Kelleher, yeah, I think the best thing for his career is go off and be. I think he can be a Premier League number one. I think he could be a Premier League number one.
I think so as well.
And I think there's a lot of goalkeepers, like me and Rand spoke about this earlier. There's a lot of goalkeepers that will be looking for his kind of skill set. Now, a lot of top coaches now like goalkeepers that can play out with the ball. He can do that. You know, he has that skill set. Like I said, with Arsenal, with Ramsdale, they went and got Ramsdale. People laughed. I mean, I still don't think he's that great of a goalkeeper, but, you know, he's very good with his feet. And that's where, you know, Arteta likes to build up from the back. You know, the goalkeeper can do that and sweep up. Neuer was the one who started it all at Bayern. Alisson does it. Ederson does it. You know, Pickford does it to some degree. You know, they're
awfully.
Yeah. And Kelleher can definitely do it. So, yeah, I mean, he would be. That's why I think Ram's right. If we do sell him, we should ask for big money because you've got to look at his potential and his skill set.
Especially if
people might think it's mad because he's number two.
If it's Premier League, then I'm asking for big money. If it's like, say, I don't know, Schalke or Bayer Leverkusen or Dortmund or whatever, then obviously the price would lower because they're not our direct rival.
No, they would not going to play him every week, sort of thing. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, but if it's Premier League, 100%, I am asking for big money plus homegrown quota as well.
Yeah, I want. If he goes to a Premier League team, I want 30 million plus. Easy.
Yeah.
His skill set, his skill set, and his youth, young he is, and how good he's got the potential to be. You know, all that price matters, man. All that pricing matters, and he's Northern. He's Irish, ain't he? Southern Irish, so
Republic of Ireland, yeah.
You know, he's part of that area. He's not UK or Britain or anything like that, but it's as close as you gotta get. So he's part of that. You know, the market value goes up on.
I still think he's home quota though because he still grew up in our academy.
He grew up in our academy, didn't he? So
yeah.
Hang on, is Kelleher a decent academy player? Hang on, is he one we actually produced?
Yeah, we did because technically we bought him from somebody. We bought him from.
How old was he?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He would be 17 by then.
Oh right, yeah. So he's not.
What's the cutoff? What's the cutoff age?
What we were talking about earlier is all the great youth players we've got in our club at the moment are basically ones we didn't really produce.
Yeah, we signed them from somewhere else.
Ben Doak came from Celtic at 15, you know, and really he's learnt the trade from Celtic. Harvey Elliott came from Fulham. Carvalho came from Fulham. Even you can go back as far as Raheem Sterling came from QPR.
And Shelby came from Charlton.
Yeah.
What are we saying is the age what age would you have to sign the player to consider them then?
60, under 16.
Yeah, I think if you're like, I think you got to be like 10 and 11 and 12 and all that sort of ages, like growing up through the academy, you know, growing up all through the academy, all the different divisions and sort of like that. And you know, if you look at the ones we have got that are doing that, are nowhere near as talented and ready compared to the ones we've bought in. You know,
You know what? I'll tell you what. One player that did sort of masked his ability and his qualities. I thought Ben Woodburn could have been a player because of how good he was at Wales. For Wales, he was for some reason at Wales he would always score a banger, and I was like, this guy could be something. And then,
he was a good youth. I mean, to be fair, he would have been. He's better than what the youth players played yesterday.
Arguably, Arguably, yeah.
I'm not. I mean, I was never convinced. Like, he's that guy. He was like the youngest goal scorer, wasn't he? When he came on.
Youngest ever goal scorer.
Yeah. Bit like none of them. You know, we was talking about Ramsey earlier. Like, none of these players played the game and had the assurance that like Ramsey has. It was always a bit frantic and like a bit unconvincing. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe put in the chat Harry Wilson.
Did Harry Wilson come through our academy, or did we
buy
him?
He did.
Harry Wilson actually did come through our academy, and we sold him. That's what me and Ram said. We've actually sold all our best, all our best academy players.
How much did we sell? Harry Wilson, that was a deferred payment, wasn't it? But how much was that in the end? Was it?
It was
16 million, something like that?
Was that thing like 15 million or something?
It's probably a good fee for
Brewster.
the player.
Brewster
came from Chelsea.
Yeah, he came from Chelsea Academy, didn't he?
Yep.
Again, what was that? 20 million?
22 mil, wasn't it? And Brewster's done nothing. I feel sorry for the kid.
Yeah.
It was that spell at Swansea where he just started scoring, and then he just never lived up to it.
I just love the
fact he scored loads for the under-8, like Liverpool unders.
Yeah. He was meant to be the next big thing. I just love the fact that he went and got his hair cut in the Barbers of Champions League medal with doing nothing. Why not? Why not? I mean, if I won a Champions League medal without kicking a ball, I'm taking that. I'm wearing that everywhere, you know.
Jamie, if we win the Champions League next year, I'm going to be on here with a replica. Like,
literally,
wear it, man. Just wear it with pride, man. I would. I will never forget Adrian hiring at a whole football stadium. I mean, that's just Adrian hiring at a football stadium to show off his medals in Spain.
Yeah.
Hey, we could have a problem next season if both Kelleher and Adrian want to go.
Well, Adrian will go.
Adrian is going. Yeah.
So we'll have to buy number 2. That's why I don't think Kelleher will go next season. I think we'll give him reinsurances or something.
They'll convince him, yeah.
Yeah, that one more season. Let us get another number 2 in, and then we'll let you go. Because, and say, he's still young enough at the moment that it's not going to be quite an issue. But
that's why apparently we're going to go after Ron Robert Zieler from Hanover, apparently, to be the 3rd choice keeper.
Okay.
So, I don't know about that, but
we'll
sort something
out. A lot of clubs make sure they get an English third choice keeper, just for the
homegrown thing, ain't it? It's
it's the easy way to get around it. So
that's why Man United had Lee Grant.
Yeah. And that's why Scott Carson's at Man City or something.
Yeah, exactly. And his 3rd choice. It's why beating it, but then you can go, right, I've got English, I've got a homegrown quota as my 3rd goalkeeper that I'll never go to use, which means I can then go and get another body in an area that I need. It's way of cheating it.
Wouldn't you feel awkward though? Imagine if you're Scott Carson and you win the Premier League. I'd feel like the most awkward guy.
You probably don't give a shit, man. He's living a life of luxury.
No, I mean, it depends what type of person you are, but I mean, just imagine being part of the celebrations. You're not even made a bench.
He's just wearing that medal.
He's wearing that medal.
He's just wearing that medal. He won't.
On his CV, when he retires, it'll have 3-time Premier League champion on it.
Don't you have to make so many appearances though? Don't you have to make so many appearances to get a medal?
Well, he has. That's why he has made a couple of appearances.
Really?
I think last season he made enough appearances to get a medal.
No, right.
Imagine that. Champions League winner, Premier League winner, FA Cup winner.
Yeah, he won Champions League and Liverpool, don't forget.
And an FA Cup.
And the Super Cup.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's won every trophy. Scott Carson has won every trophy you can in football without really ever doing it.
He's a Hall of Famer. Get him in the Hall of Fame.
That's quite an accomplishment, actually.
To be fair, arguably, he almost cost us the Champions League.
Oh, yeah.
He did.
Oh, man, Scott Carson. Do you remember that year when we bought him and Kirkland at the same time?
Oh, yeah.
Kirkland could have been anything if it weren't for his hand injuries. Kirkland could have been anything he wanted. He was a player. I thought Brewster was going to be the next Mbappe with all the hype. Oh, I know. He was hyped to the hill, man. In fairness, Carvalho played 7 times in the Premier League Premier for Fulham the season before they went down. He's experienced it before. Yeah, that's what we were saying.
Did you guys talk? I'm guessing you spoke on Carvalho when you gave him your rating.
Yeah. Poor man. Yeah. He was.
I don't know.
I was disappointed in Carvalho, to be fair.
Yeah, are we being too harsh though? Because he is new to the club, and obviously we've not played well. And are we expecting too much from him? Because I always tend to find now, I love him as a player. I think he's going to be great, but I do watch the games he plays and kind of feel a little bit disappointed. I always feel like he's holding back.
Yesterday was League One derby. He could have shown yesterday what he was about.
Yeah.
for me.
Just
Yes,
like
he had his opportunity. Klopp gave him his opportunity yesterday to show what you can do against a League One derby, and he just didn't show it. And I just don't know how well that's going to go for him for the future. And I've said since we signed him, I don't think Jurgen Klopp bought him. I don't think he's a Jurgen Klopp player because I don't see where he fits.
he's a bit of a link player, isn't he? Like, I think he needs like to understand the players around him to be effective. But if Doak can come on and go at people and try and make stuff happen, then surely Carvalho can, because he's got the skill set, hasn't he? Like, he's got good control on the ball, low center of gravity, nice balance. You expect him just to try and skip back past someone, or receive the ball on the turn and roll past someone, or he just kind of ducks out a lot for me.
I think we could have played him false 9 personally. Right, Ram, you're off, my man. Big up to you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, sadly I can't stay any longer, but pleasure of having me as always.
Always.
Always. But yeah, it's a good conversation. Hopefully, I could come back for the Southampton game review. Hopefully, we do win that game. If we lose that game, I'm definitely not coming. 100% I'm not coming.
Ram would be MIA.
I'll be MIA from that point. But it's appreciated. Through to the next round, and we'll just have to see who we get after this Man United game.
Yeah, definitely. Big up to you, Ram.
Good to see you, Ram.
Appreciate it. Yeah, you too, guys. I'll see you guys later.
See you, mate.
Yeah, it was. I like Carvalho. I think he's a player, but yesterday I just wanted him to go at, show everyone what he's got. Even if he doesn't like really playing left wing that much, he's still playing against League One derby.
Yeah.
And this kid, it's not like he hasn't played. He played the whole season in the Championship, big boy football. So he should be able to compete against Derby. But I would like to try Matt in the false 9 position.
I don't think he's. I agreed with you when you said it before, but I just don't feel like he's shown enough to risk it. Like,
I think yesterday would have been perfect because
yeah.
I mean, thing you played, he's just nowhere near good enough. I really think he could have gave Carvalho that sort of number 9 position yesterday and just see what he could have done, because he could have dropped deep and he could have started linking play, and he would have been in and around the box as well where he wants to be. So I just think we could try him there in these sort of games, but he can't now because that game is gone, and unless we get a nice draw in the 4th round or the FA Cup, don't know if you can carry that on.
The thing is, he's got time on his side.
He's got more trophies.
A lot of players have. That's the thing. I think Carvalho's got time on his side, though. Maybe we don't need to try and pigeonhole him into a position just yet. But I do kind of think, look, if you're at this club now, like you say, he has got experience in the Championship. He's got a bit of experience in the Prem as well. Like, just I need to see just a little bit more, just a little bit. I feel like he turns up to these games and they kind of pass him by, and I'm like, you can try something. I'd rather see him try take somebody on, try make a run, try have a shot. And look, if it doesn't come off, so be it. But he seems a bit too happy just to do his bit and keep the ball, and then the game passes him by.
Yeah, I agree. I think he goes missing in games. I really do. I think he hides a little bit as well, because you never really look at him. He never looks like he wants to receive the ball either, and that's a bit of a worry. But like,
Elliot's different, isn't he?
Different, and everyone goes on about the Elliot Carvalho thing because you get a lot of Liverpool like big up everyone who likes Carvalho and hates Elliot, but like I can understand Roms, like big up Roms. He's a big Elliot. He's a big Carvalho fan, and everyone says like Elliot plays more, Klopp plays him more, so obviously he's going to look better. But if you literally go back to when Elliot first started, the first game he played, the first 2 games he played, he still showed more than what Carvalho is doing right now. And that's why he still plays. That's why he gets in the team. Look, he was a right winger. He's a right winger that Klopp decided to put in midfield. And Carvalho and Elliot went, all right, if I'm going to play, I'm going to play there. And he knuckled down and got on with it. And then we're saying, right, Carvalho's not a left winger, he's a number 10. But we can't say, right, Elliot's a right winger, but Klopp put him in central midfield 8 position where he don't really suit him as much, but he plays well, and then say, right, it's not Carvalho's fault because he's playing out of position. You know what I mean? You got to look at it and think, right, Carvalho I don't know what it is. Carvalho's older than Elliott as well. And when they play, Elliott looks the older.
Yeah.
He looks the more mature footballer. And I feel for Carvalho in a way because I do think a 4-3-3, in the way we play, I just don't think it suits him. And then when everyone's back, Jota and Luis Diaz are the left wingers in his team. So he ain't getting in there. He's third choice. Yeah,
and like when you look at Carvalho and Elliott, I would say, and there's not a lot between it, but I actually think Carvalho's got a bit more about him. Not about him, that's wrong. A bit more technical ability.
Carvalho will probably score more goals than Elliott.
Yeah, I feel like his touch is it is so tight. But I do look at Carvalho and think you could be a better player than Elliott. But at the minute, Elliott's the guy that's proving it. And he's doing it, and he's making an impact, whereas Carvalho isn't. And look, that might change, as time goes on. But I do think at this moment in time, comparing the two, Elliott's just giving more, and I like Carvalho to contribute at least as much as Elliott is. But look, maybe it's just a bit too soon. Maybe we're being a bit too harsh on him. But he's had the opportunity, and look, you're at a big club like Liverpool. Sometimes you don't get as many opportunities as he's getting, so you've got to really take on. It's not gonna. Well, we don't know what the future holds now, do we? But if Liverpool get back to playing well and winning game after game and back competing for Premier League and Champions League, towards the end of them competitions, Klopp's not going to be looking, as long as he's got the options. He's not going to be looking to play Carvalho. Like he's not going to get starts at them because the games are going to be too important. So, the games that he's playing now, he's really got to grasp them because. Look, if he doesn't now, the opportunities might be a bit tough for him down the line, especially if we get to the summer and we sign other players and stuff like. It's harsh, but that is life at being at a top club. You have to take the opportunity you get and show enough. And at the minute, I don't think he's quite showing enough. But hopefully he'll come good. Like I still really like him as a player. I think he's great.
Yeah, I agree. And Carvalho is suited for a 4-3-3 in a cam role. Where there is less focused on him passing rather than driving in the box. Yeah, the problem is we don't play that way. That's the thing, do we? We play with a flat 3. We don't play with that like diamond 3 in a 4-3-3, and that where you have 2 sitting, 1 in front of a front 3. That's just not how we play at the moment. Unless Klopp changes it, I can't see Carvalho getting in and playing. The problem is, even if Klopp does change it, and we play 4-3 in that kind of way with 2 sitting and a 10 advanced playing behind a front 3, then Carvalho ain't ready to play that part anyway. So he's too lightweight as well. He needs to mature a little bit, in my opinion. He needs to bulk up a little bit. Not too much because you don't want it to ruin his athleticism, but he just looks too lightweight on the ball.
Yeah, but he's not particularly quick either, is he?
No,
and that's the thing. So, he could become a pretty nippy player. He might be quick over like a few yards, which might, be really good and be enough for him. But if he's not going to be a particularly pacey player, then just he maybe needs to put on a bit of muscle and be that guy that can receive the ball on while someone's pressing him and roll a defender and open up space or link up well or. He's not even a particularly good passer in the ball or something. That's what I'm saying. I look at him as a player and I think the attributes I'm seeing, I kind of expect a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not really excelling in anything at the minute, but I do kind of see something. I just don't know what it is at the minute. He's not particularly fast, not particularly strong. His passing is not particularly good. It's just too average at the minute. And usually with the youngster, you always see a spark somewhere. Like we just spoke about Doak. He's willing to run at people and he's skillful. You're like, okay. So that, I can see that much in him and then he can refine that and add to his game elsewhere. And you see Calvin Ramsey really calm on the ball, strong, bit of an all-rounder actually, but in a good way. Yeah. Whereas Carvalho is a bit of an all-rounder, but nothing particularly exciting, I suppose.
With obviously the club being sold up or looking for investment, no matter, I don't know. It's either being sold or we're looking for investment, whatever comes first, I suppose. But if investment comes into this team, we're going to buy players that will be better than Carvalho in them positions.
Mm.
Then what happens to players like Carvalho? Do you
Would
let him
it
go
would it be?
alone? Things like that, or
I was just about to say, would it be fair to say a club the size of as ours, when we get a player like Carvalho, he shouldn't really be somebody that's in and around the first team. He should actually just be a player that's on loan.
Yeah. I think with the investment we're going to get, hopefully, when this all happens, I think Elliot will be all right because as long as Klopp's in charge, I think Elliot's going to be in the squad no matter what players we got. Because I think Klopp he rates Harvey, and so I think Harvey will be all right. But players like Carvalho and stuff like that, and Stefan Bagotic and players like that, I worry for because you're going to get better investment, which means you're going to get players that are better than they are already, and then they're going to find it harder to get in the first team. So I do worry about them kind of players. But yeah, it'd be interesting with Curtis. Like loan out Elliot, Carvalho, and Jones next. I don't think you need a loan out Elliot, but Carvalho and Jones definitely.
Yeah,
Even with investment, say we get investment quite soon, and next summer we could buy well. I don't think Elliot. I think Elliot's a squad player now, and Elliot's good on the bench, man. I mean, I just don't see a thing of loaning him out. What more is he going to learn on loan? That's the thing with Harvey.
Yeah, that's fair.
What more is he going to learn on loan?
Yeah.
I mean, you either loan players out because they're young and you want them to learn the game and play big boy football, sort of thing, or you've just got no room for them in your squad, and eventually you go to sell them, but you want their price to stay quite high, so you loan them out so the world can watch them. Yeah, and that's the only reason. But other than that, I think out of them all, I think Elliot is the only one guaranteed to stay in the squad.
Yeah,
with their investment, I really do.
Yeah,
and then he don't have to play so much either, and also he develops better that way because at the moment he's playing too much football and he's got no choice because everyone's shit.
Yeah,
he's got to play. So I mean, I think Harvey's all right. Carvalho, I do worry about just because I think if we want a number 10 and we got money. Can buy a better number 10.
But then at the same time, like if we've got other players coming in and we have a bolstered squad whereby we can decide to send Carvalho out on loan, we would be in a really good situation because he's so young. Like he has so much potential and
future.
And like he could come back in like a year or two's time and just slot straight into the first team and be in and around the first team. And then that'd be ideal, wouldn't it? Because you've got a young prospect that you sign for a relatively low fee. He could, in a few years' time, be an important player to the squad, or at the very least, increase his value and you sell him on and you make some money. But at the minute, it's probably unfair because we're having to put him in the team. And at the minute, he's just a bit average, isn't he?
Yeah, I agree. Right, before we finish up, so did you see the England squad announcement?
I've seen the squad, yeah.
I did a video on it earlier. It was terrible. Not my video, that's great. The squad was dog shit. That defence, man. Jesus Christ. Maguire, Dyer, Tomori. Shocked he didn't go.
Yeah.
This is the team that got left behind. This is the 11 we have made up of players that ain't going to the World Cup for England. I totally forgot about Jadon Sancho. No Tomori, no Guayi, Sessegnon, Harvey Barnes.
Gay though. He had a really good season last season, but this season he's been a bit.
The ones that surprised me, the ones that surprised me that ain't going in the squad are Tony, Bowen, Ward-Prowse, and Sancho, and maybe Tomori as well. They're the ones. Look, Ivan Toney, I think if he didn't play for Brentford, he would have gone.
Yeah.
Jadon Sancho, I'm actually surprised he hasn't gone because he does all right for England. Bowen, he's been, not the greatest form this season, but, he's a decent player. And Ward-Prowse, I would rather have Ward-Prowse in my midfield than Calvin Phillips.
Have you got the squad there, Jamie? Can you throw the squad up?
I might have, hang on. 1 sec. I have got it. Hang on 1 second.
I mean, Sancho, based on form, yeah, probably the right decision not to go. But
Yeah.
I always thought he was one of Southgate's sort of favoured players. You know, like he's got them guys that are guaranteed to go regardless of how they play. I thought he was in that group, but obviously not.
There's the team. So you look at the defence. You got Trent, Cody, Dyer, Maguire, Luke Shaw, Stones, Ben White, Carl Walker, and Trippier. That's so bad. And look at the midfield. Conor Gallagher went.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
Gallagher has gone to the World Cup. Calvin Phillips has not played anything. Has gone to the World Cup. And then you look at players like Eze, Ward-Prowse, Bowen, Sancho, Tony.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And then he's going like they're talking about Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire even played this season and he's been terrible for 2 years.
Harry Maguire might be one of...
If he's going, if Gareth Southgate is going, club form don't matter. Club form don't matter. It don't matter what you do in your club. As long as you play well for me for England in previous games, you'll get picked. Then what is the point of club football?
In respect to get picked,
What is the point of being good for your club and being good in club football if you can never be picked for the national team because someone like Harry Maguire is trusted by the manager, but he's been terrible for 2 years and everyone's laughing at him. He's a joke. And you got, better centre-backs, English centre-backs around in England and in Europe playing, like Tomori, who are better than Harry Maguire. But they can't get in the World Cup. So what is the point of club football in that way? It's weird.
Yeah, and then you've got the flip side where Trent's gone, and it's like, well, Trent's been terrible this season. But I understand they got injury issues at right back. I mean, it's Southgate, isn't it? I mean, you're trying to work out the logic of that man, then it's no point, is there?
It's mad. That's why I'm with Ash. I'm Argentina all the way. I've lost my Look,
I do see the logic in taking players. Like there should be not guarantees, but there should be a core of players that you take regardless. You can't have this squad full of complete, informed players that have rarely played for England or played with other England players, and then it's just also.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. There needs to be some that he just trusts that just play no matter a club form. I get that. Yeah. Someone like Aaron Maguire for 2 years has been shite, and then he's not even played this season. He's not even getting him back in the Man United, and he's in for other defenders that are actually better than him. You must be tomorrow. Must be thinking, what is the point? Connor Cody's got in front of him.
Yeah, you just can't explain it, innit? It's Southgate. I mean,
he's got to play right. Iran is our first World Cup game. He's got to play 5 at the back against Iran. Iran. Because apparently the rumoured 11 that he probably will go with against Iran, I've just looked earlier, is probably Pickford, Carl Walker, John Stones, and Maguire as a back three. Trippier and Shaw as his wing backs. Bellingham and Rice in the midfield. And then Sterling, Kane, and Saka as his front three. So Foden can't get an 11. Maddison can't get an 11.
Yeah.
Oh, only England tell people that are creative to sit on the side.
but the thing is, though, like the Foden one, I can understand because I don't think Foden works with Harry Kane up top. Because look at Harry Kane's game; he likes to come deep, receive the ball, turn, and spread the ball out wide, or have runners beyond him. And Foden's not a runner beyond. Sterling might be. Even Rashford might be, but Foden isn't. And I always feel like that link-up's not quite there because Foden, they both want to do the same thing. They both want to create it. I think
Foden's not really ever produced for England yet, has he?
Yeah, and he's good. Don't get me wrong. On the eye test, he's good. Because he's a great player. But I just think in terms of the players fitting together and working, I don't think it quite works with them two. But then the same argument could be said for Maddison. He's I think if you look at his GA, he's top out of all the other English players in the league.
He's England's best creative player.
Yeah, but then again, does he need a forward that's on the shoulder
so he can all the time? this is the thing. Why does Harry Kane have to play? Look, I said this earlier in my rant earlier in my show earlier. Harry Kane is a stat merchant again in international football. He will get a hat trick against Iran, 2 goals against USA. He'll end up with 5 goals in the World Cup. Come home, he'll get the freedom of England, and like everyone will, oh, he's got 5 goals again in the World Cup, and then not turn up against the big teams like he always does.
Yeah.
Never turn up. We don't try it. He plays no matter. He played 90 minutes against San Marino for no reason. When you've got people like Tony who could have played that game, Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
You know, this is the thing that annoys me. Southgate would just go, right, Kane plays no matter what. It don't matter how good everyone else is. Kane plays no matter what for the whole 90 minutes. So our whole team, so we're losing creativity in our midfield because they can't play with Harry Kane. Now, I don't think that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's right all the time.
Unless you instruct Harry Kane to not come deep and just make sure he's on the shoulder of the defence and let the likes of Maddison and Foden behind him be the guys that take the ball in the higher ends of the pitch, you know, between the line of the midfield and defence, and let them work their magic in them spaces, not him. And he stretches the play because he's a fantastic finisher, obviously. So you probably still want him in the side, but I just feel like he occupies areas that the likes of Maddison and Foden and stuff would be. And then it doesn't really,
if he drop deep and try and do what Maddison and all that do, we got no focal point up front, then we ain't beating no one.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then drop Harry, put a Callum Wilson up front. You know, someone who's going running behind, and play your Maddisons and your Fodens in behind him.
Yeah.
We'd probably actually win more games, but no one's got the bottle to say it, and no one's got the bottle to do it either. That's the problem. You know, we're going to be static. Harry's going to drop deep. Saka and Sterling will try and play wide, and as he drops deep, they'll try and come inside. But then you're playing Bellingham or Rice. You know, Bellingham likes to attack into the box, and Rice ain't really got the passing skill to thread balls through like that. So, you know, you're going to struggle to break teams down. Where if you play a Callum Wilson, if he's fit, he can run off the shoulder of defenders, and then you can play a Foden and a Maddison.
Yeah.
You know, and you might actually win more games playing that way. But no, we've got to play Harry Kane for every second of every game at the World Cup, and won't break anyone down and struggle. And then you'll wonder, and everyone will go, "Oh, Southgate, we tried, but." You know, we couldn't break these teams down. Why couldn't we break these teams down? You're playing 5 at the back against Iran and America. That is why we can't break these teams down. It's just, we are a gutless team, a nation as a football team. We are. We just ain't got the guts to go, right, you might be who you are, but it's not going to work for our system.
Yeah.
You know, we got players like Maddison and Foden are better footballers that we need to get on the pitch, and they're going to help us win games.
Yeah.
You know, when you watch Kane, especially this season, Kane needs to be fed. You look at him now; he can't create goals for himself. He has to be fed. Yeah. Yeah. So if he wants to be fed, then he's got to stay up in the box, not come deep, and then you've got to play your Maddisons and Fodens.
Yeah,
but he won't because he'll want to go with a more defensive structure of midfield. So we'll go Rice and Bellingham.
Well, look at the Spurs game that we played against them. In that first half, he was coming deep, picking up the ball, and then he was like whipping crosses in, and he could put a good cross in. Don't get me wrong, and he can pass at any range. He's a really good passer of the ball. And you know, remember the chance he created for Perisic, where he hit the posts and stuff. That's Kane. He's actually a bit of a playmaker. And
he's
then
he's like a number 10 now, isn't he?
Yeah, but then the second half, the instruction was to get the ball out wide and get crosses in the box, and then he played as more of a traditional 9, whereby he was just in the box trying to get in front of defenders and get a flick on the ball and just basically put the ball in the back of the net. So if you instruct him to do that as a traditional 9, then you can play Maddison, then you can play Foden and Sterling, because they can be the creators out wide and then, you know, in them 10 positions. But if you play Foden and you play Maddison and you play Kane, they'll all just occupy the same space. They'll all just want to be 10s, and then you've got no one stretching the line. So it don't work. You're right. What really we should be doing is just have a system, and just doesn't matter what your name is. If you suit the system, you just play. But just give up hope with England, really, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know any other international team that will keep out their creative sparks in their team to win football matches. Because that Kane's not athletic. You know, he's not like all the top strikers. Like he's a world-class goal scorer. I could be probably one of the better goal scorers at the World Cup, to be fair. But his game is to be fed. And the problem Harry is now, Harry's got in his head that he's a number 10. It looks like he's just got in his head now that he can drop deep and be creative.
Well, I think partly the way Son plays, and then obviously now Kulevsky and stuff.
But he's got to do that with Chelsea. He's got to do that with England then, because he's got Saka and Sterling on the wide areas.
Yeah, so that might work. It might though, but
Sterling's shit.
Well,
Sterling is nowhere near as good as he was. That's why Pep Guardiola let him leave, and he was right. Can you remember when we? I like Saka though. Saka's quality, so
I like Saka. Yeah, he's a great player. Can you remember when Sterling was at Liverpool and he played in the 10 behind Suarez and Sturridge?
Yeah,
that was quite something.
Because obviously, he played for England in the last World Cup, didn't he? He played behind Kane in the last World Cup.
I can't remember now, to be honest.
Yeah, he played in that 10 behind Kane in the last World Cup. They played as like a 2 almost. Yeah. He weren't playing out wide, but he won't play like that for England. He'll play wide.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the thing is, the squad was going to be announced, and always round there was going to be stuff being criticised.
I look at it and think, you know, we have got better talent than that's been taken to the World Cup, in my opinion.
I think when you look at the bigger picture and you like start to break down how many quality players England have at the minute, you kind of then look at the style of play and the lineup, and you go, I feel like we should be much better than that. Like,
yeah. The style of play,
and it's the age thing. Like, we always think going into major tournaments that we've got like the golden generation now. I mean, remember when we had Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, Rooney? You know, we thought that was it.
That was it. I mean, for player though, that kicks a shit out of this team.
Yeah, but I mean, we do have, you know, Foden, Mount, Rice.
Yeah,
I mean, you talk about these at club level, I'd take all 3 of them players.
They're all good. I don't know about Mount, but
Mount's decent. He's not been great this season, right, but he's good. He's good. I like Mount.
Look, you look at Bellingham. There might not be many young central midfielders at the World Cup, but will he be used properly?
That's what I'm saying.
Declan Rice is a decent DM, so he'd probably be used because he's defensive minded. But Saka's a very good right winger. He's very young though, so he's up and down. But on his day, he's very good. You know, I just don't think our attack is great at the moment. I just don't see goals in Sterling. I don't see I think Saka's good, but is he going to get many goals that are going to win us games at a World Cup?
If it doesn't make sense, why not? I mean, you just name them players there: Bellingham, Rice, Foden, Mount, Saka.
And we got to let them play their way.
Yeah.
Sterling's playing, Saka's playing. You got Bellingham playing. You know, you got these players in this team. You got to go to them, right? You guys are all you know how to play one way. Foden, Madders. You just go to them, right? You all know how to play in one way. I want you to just show the world what you can do. Yeah. Show the world what you can do. Show everybody on the planet. Everyone's watching you. That's build a team around them. The team should be built around them players, but our team is built around Pickford and Maguire, Luke Shaw. That's what our team's built around, and that's why we find it hard to break teams down.
I think the fact that we've got such rubbish centre backs has crippled us, because it makes Southgate want to play 5 at the back. But if you had 2 half decent centre backs, you could go 4 at the back and then maybe play a 4-2-3-1 and be more attacking. But I feel like you've got all them nice attacking forwards, and then you've got absolutely terrible centre backs, and that's why he goes with the 3 or 5 at the back. Call it what you will. But maybe we should just be braver than that. Just be like, screw it. You know what? Let's just we got Rice in front of the defence. Let's just go for it.
Rice and Bellingham in midfield. That's a good midfield combination.
Yeah, they should be.
And then you've got decent forwards you've got Fodens and that you can play, and Sterling's and Maddison's and all these players that you could just go, right, do what you do. Just go, show the world. But no, we won't. We'll play super defensive. It'll be a 1-0 scrappy win against Iran. I just don't fancy us doing anything this World Cup. I really don't. Part of me don't think we'll get out of the group. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a dodgy draw against America, We beat Iran, got a dodgy draw against America, but lost to Wales.
Probably.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Everyone asking about the After Dark podcast. It will be coming back, guys. So I've got some good news. So Lauren got on the phone to me before I started this video, and they had a meeting at the hospital, and they're hoping Penny will be home a week Tuesday.
Wow, that's sooner than you thought, eh?
A week on Tuesday. A week on Tuesday. Hopefully she'll be home. They're going to put the cast vest thing they've made for her on next Wednesday. And then the following Monday, they're hoping that they can take the halo off. And then a couple of days after that, she should be home.
That's great.
If the physios are happy walking around and sitting up and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully, about 10, 12 days' time, the whole family will be home again. We'll be all under one roof. And then I can get back to doing all the normal stuff I used to do on the channel and get everything back to normal. So once
that's great news.
I can do the After Dark podcast again, because I'm a bit worried about doing late night videos at the moment because what happened to Phoebe and stuff like that. So it's got me a bit on edge. So
that's great news, Jamie. I'm so pleased for you all.
Move forward, family. And as everyone, if you don't know, guys, the channel's going to be changing after the World Cup a little bit as well. So yeah, I'm going to have more of a schedule to the channel. So there's go on my community post if you've not seen it already, guys, and check it out. So basically, what will be happening is so after the World Cup, so we're going to get the World Cup done. After the World Cup's done, so in the new year, I'll be doing a video every day at 12:30 in the afternoon. You know, might be a little video, might be an hour long, something like that. But I'll be doing a 12:30 video every day in the afternoon. That show would basically be about you guys in the chat, talking to you guys in the chat, coming up with things on top of our head, that sort of thing, having fun shows and all that. And then every Monday nights will be 6 p.m. going forward. Tuesday nights will be 8 p.m. Wednesday night 6 p.m. Thursday nights 8 p.m. and Friday night 6 p.m. They're going to be the schedule that I'm going to be keeping to going forward in the new year. And on them days, we're going to have debate shows, call-in shows, give a bit more back to you guys in the chat as well. And then Cav's going to join me for hopefully 2 shows of them in the evenings on the days he's available. So we're going to keep it a proper schedule, guys. So, and then the only time the schedule comes a bit of a thing is if there's a watch along in the Champions League, that would take over that game. And I'll be doing instant match reactions as well. So I won't be waiting for the next day to do my instant match reactions anymore in the new year. So as soon as the Liverpool game is finished, no matter what time of day it is, I'll be straight on with an instant match reaction as well. So you guys know when I go live that way, instead of that being a weird sort of times like it is today and all that, you know, every day Jamie's on at 12:30 in the afternoon, then a Monday 6 p.m, a Tuesday 8 p.m, a Wednesday 6 p.m, and so on, guys. So that'll be happening in the new year. Cav's going to be part of it as well. So you'll see a lot more of us. And hopefully it helps the channel grow a little bit better as well. Good, I like it. Afternoon chats. Jamie breaks the day up. Yeah, I mean, I like the afternoon ones as well. I just ain't been able to get onto them properly because of everything going on. But hopefully this is the start of it, guys, in the new year. But we've got the Liverpool game coming up. So tomorrow I'll be doing a preview for the Southampton game. Then we've got the Southampton game. So then we'll have that, match reactions to that. And then we're on to the World Cup, guys. But before the World Cup, we've got to have a big debate show. We've got to do the top 10 footballers of all time. It's going to start so many arguments.
Jesus Christ.
So before the World Cup starts, we're going to have a good old debate show where I'm going to get a few people on. Quite a lot of people are interested in doing this. So we're going to get everyone's top 10 footballers of all time. But the rule is you've got to be able to watch them. So if you're 28 years old and you've got Johan Cruyff in your top 10, that don't count. So you've got to be able to watch them is the rule. So, and then we give everyone's top 10, and then we're going to come then with a combined list of a top 10 and try and break it all down. So that's going to be just before the World Cup, guys. So that'll be a good show as well. So big up to everyone. Thank you for all joining us tonight. I appreciate it. And guys, I'll see you tomorrow for the Southampton preview. Enjoy the rest of your night.